Hello and welcome everyone to episode 19 of Perpetual Backlog podcast, the gaming podcast that covers gaming news and hopefully encourages you to get through that backlog, viewers. I'm your host that still does not know what he's doing, Aqua, and joining me like usual is Dalit.
Hey, it's me, it's Dalit. You can fly me to the moon anytime.
And Leek.
It's me, Leek. A leek as in a happy vegetable that you should eat, and not a bad leek, which is either a wet leak in the house or, news that is leaked.
But as you may know, we hyped a special guest for this episode. Please welcome friend of the show and Final Fantasy XIV community's own lore boy, Ethys. Wait, am I reading this correctly? Ethys Asher?
Yeah, it's pronounced Muenman. Yeah, my
our mistake.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. Not many people know because I hate it. But hi, I'm Ethys, long-time listener, first-time caller. How y'all doing? Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome to the podcast. Oh, this is yours podcast now. Okay, go ahead and take over.
All right, so this is a Final Fantasy XIV lore podcast.
Oh, wow.
And I think we have some sponsor-obligated news that we have to front load. So I think just this one time, I'll let Aqua take care of that because, we're trying to like tutor him a little bit and get him ready for the big wide world. So
I mean, I don't know what I'm doing.
Have you got the notes that I sent you?
Oh yeah. I've got the notes. Yeah, I got the notes.
All right.
They're all nice in order.
That's nice. Learning by doing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So typically what we do in this podcast is that we'll talk about what we've done the past week, whether it be actually doing video games or sometimes Dalit's doing schoolwork.
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
Yeah, and then we go on into the news. All right, this episode's a little bit special because we're bringing you on for the big news for all of us who are big into the 14 community. We just got some big announcements this week.
And if you're not, you should be.
Yeah, exactly. Free trial, by the way, guys. So pretty much we go into what we played, go into the news, and then we talk about what we're planning on for the next week. That way we can continue that forward into the next episodes. So I guess we'll start off with mine, because I have a big disappointment. I have been hammering down on playing Ys 8 this week. Like one day.
Really, I thought you were gonna say you're playing finally Persona 5.
No. I one day I spent like 15 to 18 hours playing. All right.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and I was hammering down. I was like, there was a point in time last night I was thinking I was really close to the end of the game. Man, was I wrong?
The fake out. Very good.
This game lasts for... I've almost put 40 hours into this game.
Jeez.
35 of those hours has been this week.
Oh,
to be fair, this is an RPG.
Okay. You're right. This is an RPG. But when I compare it to the other Ys titles that I've played, Ys 1, 6 hours. Ys 2, 7 hours. Ys Origin 40, but I had to play it 3 times.
Wait, are these RPGs? Wait, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah, they are action RPGs. All right.
That's a big jump from 7 to 40.
So you have to play it 3 times. There's 3 characters. You have to go through the game 3 times.
I see.
So technically, if I went through just one character, it was like 20.
All right.
The other 2 were like really, really quick. Memories of Celceta, that took me like 26 hours. And that's the closest type of game to the one that I'm currently playing, where you have to actually map out the game. It's like pretty much, it's like kind of open world, but kind of not open world. And Oath and Felghana and Arcanine Pishdom are more like older Ys games, and those took me like just above 10 hours to beat.
I retract my statement of those aren't JRPGs. They clearly are with names like that.
Oh yeah. There's East 5 never came out in the West, and I forget what that one's called, but that one's called like the Sands of like some made up Falcom word. So I was planning on actually talking about this game tonight because I was going to complete it. But not only did I just make it to the final dungeon before I went to work today, I also learned that there's a true ending to this game and I need 200 reputation points with the village. And I only had 141. So now I've got to do some side content before finishing this final dungeon.
Never ends.
So that's literally my entire week, other than Friday.
Have you been enjoying it? Like, you sound kind of frustrated by it.
So towards the end of like JRPGs that I want to like finish or whatever, I tend to like try to speed my way through as fast as I can. And I'm at a point in the game where most fights are kind of trivial to me. My character has a cloak on that gains strength and defense depending on how many enemies I've beaten. That caps at 100 to 100. But it's still like ridiculous. And so like most of the time I'm just kind of like hammering my way through bosses. But I'm frustrated in the fact that I wanted to get it done, and I stayed up till like 7 o'clock in the morning.
Oh no!
And I didn't get to the end. And then when I woke up, I immediately started playing it, and I only had like an hour and a half. But I literally had just gotten into the dungeon, the final dungeon. And then that's when my friend was like, or Little was like, yeah, there's a true ending to the game, and you need like 200 reputation with the village. And I'm like,
why would you say that?
I'm like, no.
What did you have at the time?
141.
How much did you have? Okay, all right.
It's not that bad.
I was fretting you were going to say like I had like 10 at the time.
No, it's not that bad. I don't have all of the villagers yet. I'm missing like 4 at the moment.
Yeah.
And each villager gives you quests, and that increases your reputation. I'm actually at 160 something right now.
Okay.
After playing earlier today. But that's what I did with this week, other than Friday stuff.
Goodness.
Yeah. Dalit?
Well, you kind of hit the nail on the head a bit earlier when you said that I was busy with classwork, but I did get some Vesperia, and actually got a good chunk of Vesperia in. We've gone from Rago being dealt with to Cumore being dealt with. So progression is being
Kill
made.
Cumore? Kill Cumore or just beat Cumore?
I will not confirm nor deny any such spoil. No, he's dead. He's
okay.
Dead. He's
right. You pushed him off the bridge.
Buried forever. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's really all I got done. Other than that, I mean, with audio 110 and audio 100 kicking my butt, I'm having to learn how to make music, so I'm gonna make a jazzy little game tune, no doubt.
Yeah.
So
I've been throwing videos at him.
Yeah. I mean, so this sounds really cool until you realize I've never taken musical anything. Literally, this music theory class has said, "Okay, I've taught you the very basics. Make me a song." Wait, but
that's the best way to go. You know, if you know your scales, then you can write a song.
Fortunately, I taught myself my scales, so yeah, I guess I can. But yeah, so it's me in Photoshop, me in Pro Tools, and it's going to be.
It's not Photoshop.
That would be very impressive.
It'll take a while.
If you managed to make music.
All I'm saying is, once you know music, you can write it. He didn't say I had to play anything.
Oh, actually, I know how he makes music in Photoshop.
Oh no!
I know how you do it. All right.
All right.
Okay, you specifically make like a sheet of something that has like grooves in it or whatever, and then you get that 3D printed, and then you put that in a turntable.
Yeah, I see.
I feel like that requires 3D software, but you know what? I'm not an expert. I'll take your word for it.
I'm pretty sure that just like drawing staff would be a little bit easier.
See, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
It's fine. You can have just I mean, that's how the old not phonographs. You know, the ones where you turn the handle and it plays
Yeah.
the sheet.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just
Yeah,
leave
they all
holes
used
in that.
3D
You just
printers back in the
puncture
day.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just puncture holes in that. That's 2D
Yeah.
paper.
Personally,
Yeah.
I think Ethys has the best plan for it now. I'm going to take this the old Mario Paint route.
Mm.
I'm going to draw little flowers and boats on a
Hell
staff.
yeah.
Hey, no, actually, I've heard really good music made with Mario.
You have, actually.
Yeah. So
they
let's,
get pretty insane.
yeah.
But yeah, no, like classes, balancing the 2 to 3 classes have been kind of crazy. Leaves little room for gaming. But I mean, after Friday, there's not a chance in the world I don't re-up my subscription to 14. So that's going to be the plan going forward.
Yes.
At some point.
Yes.
Huzzah! I'm very pleased by this. I've been begging him now and again, like, please play with me.
What about you, League?
Speaking of which, I'm playing it right now. I'm playing 14. No, I did, like, I was hamming it up on Ethys's big stream on the weekend, but I actually did sub that very moment too, so I wasn't just talking shit. So thank you, Ethys Asher.
Yeah, you're pumping his ad numbers up. Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
yeah.
You see this lady? She re-upped her subscription.
I actually did it.
And he's won me over as well. I mean, we just need to convince you. You're the odd man out, Aqua.
Oh, see, I play 4D chess with Square Enix on this one.
Oh.
I don't ever unsubscribe because I don't feel like going to Mog Station and putting in my numbers to resubscribe to 14.
Yeah, that's me.
Because I know I'm just going to hit. I have this meteor button at the bottom of my screen. I know I'm going to hit that button one day, and if I can take the the 2 seconds to log in instead of taking the less than 3 minutes to go to Mog Station and re-up my subscription, I'm gonna do it that way because I'm lazy, and it's $15 a month. I mean, come on.
That's fair enough.
I'm missing that money that much. What are you doing in 14? League?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just trying to get. Actually, no. I need actually quite a few things to catch up on. Like I haven't done any Bajta stuff. Like, no weapon things. I need to catch up on that. Because that side story is good. Yeah. I've hadn't had time to play it, so I've been watching bits here and there from videos, and streams. So yeah, I want to go through that myself. What else? I've got a million alts that I need to catch up.
No, you see, you don't. Not anymore. 6.0.
No, in the future, no,
6.0,
right.
you don't have to give two shits about ults because you can just fly your happy ass over to other data centers.
I do wonder how well that's going to work. And I think you mentioned that you suspect it will be just region.
Oh, I 100% expect it to be regional.
Yeah.
And
also,
no way. No way.
Yeah. So if I did have to choose between my alts, my babies that I've raised, which one do I cull? Which one goes over the potential scythe?
Oh yeah.
It's not a matter of culling. It's just that they're retired now. They've adventured. It's been a very difficult life.
Now they're just stepchilds.
You just take them out to the farm upstate. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Well, there's a new farm coming in 6.0, and they can.
Yeah, we can retire them to that farm.
Literally, yeah.
Oh no. That's okay.
Yes.
Yeah. A little bit of farming simulator.
Damn it, you made it so much darker than I meant for it to be.
Yeah, I've actually got a threshold that I intended to do this anyway, but with a new expansion coming, that is definitely the final chapter in this whole story arc. I wanted to go through the whole game and play the story back to back without, having to wait a year or two. So I'm doing that as well.
You know what you have to do with that? Before you start that character, you have to load up some 1.0 cutscenes and storyline beats.
Yeah, I do have the Blu-ray for that has all those on it.
Oh, really?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Fancy.
Yeah. I
Yes.
got a Blu-ray. Yeah.
I got YouTube.
What did
I'm
it come
impressed.
with? It came with one of the special editions. I think it was the first one. You know, the ARR
That would
one.
make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what about you
Yeah,
at
it's
this?
pretty neat.
Me? What?
Yeah.
What? Me? What am I playing?
What do
Me?
you do? What have you been doing? I mean, it doesn't have to be what you're playing. It has to be like, what have you done this past week?
Oh, jeez. Well, I just logged in and I noticed I was 0 out of 450 on my tombstones. So I don't actually know what I've been doing.
Obviously not playing.
Well, I did. I swear I did. I played Delibrum Regine. I did that a couple of times. And that was a lot of fun. And I've sort of been keeping an eye on the Savage and hoping to get into that at some point soon. I haven't touched Blue Mage yet this patch. I haven't really been playing anything else because I've been writing. I had a big deadline that I was trying to get to before the showcase, and then after the showcase, I'm just kind of sitting here trying to like digest everything. So this is one of those very common weeks for me that I'm much too busy playing video games to play video games.
That is understandable.
Yeah, but that's where I'm at.
Yeah. Are you allowed to say what this deadline you were?
I am not. I would love. Oh, it's killing me. It is absolutely killing me. It's Oh, geez, what can I say without like getting sued?
Please do not get in trouble over this podcast. Please don't do that to us.
You heard it here first,
Oh,
folks.
God, don't say anything.
I'm ghostwriting something that I will never be allowed to talk about, and it's something that you guys may or may not at some point consume. And if you do, I hope you enjoy it.
Okay.
And if you don't, then well, either way, we'll never know. So there you go.
A man
What a
of
way to
mystery.
think about it.
Ugh. Well, that's good. I guess we'll get into news now. We actually had a lot of other stuff we could have thrown in here, but I handpicked the stuff that is probably a little more important / a lot quicker to get through. This first one being Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Comes out May 14th. That is my birthday, so it'll be a nice birthday present from Papa EA. And then
it's also like exactly the same time as the Digital Fan Fest.
yes,
It
so
is.
I'm already taking that week off. So
Ooh.
God, that is a damn good birthday you have in yourself.
yeah, it's also Tequila's birthday too. That 15th,
wow.
I think, is his
Yeah.
birthday.
Uh-huh.
So he gets
But
have
we
a
will be
nice
sure to send our love his way come that time.
Yeah. So I'm pretty excited for that. I'm a big Mass Effect fan.
So as a reminder for me, because my memory is rubbish, what's in the Legendary Edition?
All 3 games, but like 4K and all that lovely jazz.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, it's going to be like everything, including all of the DLC except for one, and that's the DLC for the first one of the DLCs for the first game, Pinnacle Station, because one that was developed by another team, and 2 they don't have the source code for it anymore, and 3 whatever they did have was corrupted. So that DLC is just not going to exist in the Legendary Edition.
Yeah, hate to hear it.
And I'm just like, how do you guys screw up this bad? Like, come on.
I don't know. Ask the Final Fantasy VIII team.
Well, how about I ask the Kingdom Hearts team? Because apparently Kingdom Hearts 1 was so horribly messed up that they didn't even have the source code for that. They had to reverse engineer the game.
That was really common back then. They just like didn't keep copies.
We're done. Toss it. We're done.
Yeah.
Never again.
Yeah,
Never
exactly.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's disappointing,
Artistic-
especially nowadays. But
artistic
yeah,
flair,
it was just
very
a thing that was
dramatic.
done.
I'm just picturing Thor smashing the cup.
Oh yeah. Don't eat it anymore. I'm done.
Another game!
Another one of these
Bring
espressos. But it comes with everything pretty much. It's all in like higher resolution. Most of the work they're doing with it is in the first game, because the first game compared to the other 2 is pretty shitty. So yeah, I'm hyped for that. Even though this is like literally the only BioWare thing that I am excited for, because everything else BioWare I know is just going to be in the trash can, and we'll come to that in a little bit.
Yeah, that's going to be reoccurring.
Yeah,
So
so that's reoccurring. Next bit, we talked about this last time, but Warner Bros. Was trying to patent their Nemesis engine for the Shadow of Mordor games. They got it through. They actually patented it for the next 15 or 19 years, or whatever. I think it goes up in 2035.
I am
This-
genuinely stunned. They've been trying this for years to no avail. I just kind of felt like the kind of thing that was never going to happen, but video games are seen as technology and not art, so...
Well, they had to change the patent like immensely for the court to allow it to go through.
I see. Was it a specific way to code it, or?
I think it was just something in the wording that needed to, like, I mean,
Uh-huh.
so what they're trying to do is just to stop people from like making games that are like anywhere similar to that, when even though their games in general are similar to the games that happened before.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
That game, those games are so derivative of, first of all, the Arkham series, and
Yeah.
second of all, Assassin's Creed. The
Correct.
only thing that was like cool and interesting about those games was this Nemesis system, which is absolutely fantastic. Did you guys talk about it last time, like about what it actually is, what it does?
Nah, we
No,
just
not in depth. No.
yeah, not in depth.
Basically, it's an AI system where enemies will remember who you are, and they will respond like so acutely to the things that you do. Where I think like the easiest example is if an enemy kills you, he will get promoted.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he will get more powerful. He will level up. He will buff up, and he will remember you. And he will like have dialogue lines, sort of, you know, talking about what happened the last time that you fought and how he killed you and like what those circumstances were. Yeah, it was so cool. Like you'd have enemies that would be like terrified of you. They see you come back from the dead and they'd run away. They just sort of like dynamically kind of respond to your actions. And yeah, it was like by far the coolest thing about those games. And the idea of taking a system like that and kind of making that like a new sort of industry standard for action RPGs was just like such an exciting prospect.
It really was, yeah.
You contrast this with like Yoshida talking about like the cross hotbars, right? And being like, I'm never gonna patent that because I want other developers to use that.
Yeah.
Because it's cool. And like this attitude's being so diametrically opposed is just beyond frustrating.
Yeah.
No, and
Yeah,
Mike
it's
Bithell,
great.
Mike Bithell agrees with
their
you.
eggs.
He had a very poignant statement. I think actually yours was a bit better worded, but Bithell said like this is really gross, especially for a franchise that built its Nemesis system, its brilliant Nemesis system, on top of a whole heap of mechanics replicated from other games, as all games do. But that's just how culture and creativity works. So, be a better neighbor, WB.
Nah, they're not going to.
No, it comes from the Pound organization. Pound organization is notorious for just wanting all of the money.
Yeah, I mean, I still see like other game developers trying to make stuff that's like similar to the Nemesis engine, but I mean, honestly, hopefully, maybe other developers will actually kind of like perfect it in a way.
I'm just worried about companies trying to monopolize game mechanics. This just doesn't sound good at all.
No, it's not.
Let's be clear about this. There will always be someone who finds a way around this. The issue isn't that. I mean, the issue isn't solely that this company owns the right to this idea. It's they own the right to this idea the way they've done it. So there will be ways around it. The problem with that is these other devs are now forced to do it from scratch. And once they've done it, very likely there will be some amount of like legal pressure by WB because it's awfully close to what we did.
Yeah, they'll has to prove it's their own. at least, and yada yada. Yeah.
And so it'll put off smaller companies from even trying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just poisoning the well for everyone else.
Absolutely.
Yep. Yep.
Next, we have some sad news. Bethesda founder and CEO Robert A. Altman passes away.
You hate to hear it always.
I mean, I swear to God, I think we usually talk about a death like every episode the past like 4 to 5 weeks. I swear.
Last time it was a voice actress from Resident Evil, like recently anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You hate to hear it, but
Yeah.
I think it was. I don't think they didn't even release what he died from, right? It was just
No,
natural causes.
he was 73, and all that was put out for us was that he died in Baltimore in hospital due to complications from a medical procedure.
Okay.
I see.
So
Yeah. Hate to hear it. So according to a little insider press event or whatever, Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2 will not be releasing in 2021. Which is, I understand Diablo 4, but Overwatch 2?
there's a big argument to be had over what shenanigans they're getting into, but there's like no information really there to talk eloquently about it right now.
I mean, from like the maps that they've shown for Overwatch 2, they all kind of just look like cookie cutter anyway. So I'm like, I'm trying to like, they're not. It's not like they're changing any gameplay mechanics for Overwatch 2.
No, maybe some troubles come up across, because they want people who have Overwatch 1, the first game, to be able to play with Overwatch 2 folks, and vice versa. Maybe there's problems with that. That's one guess I'm having, and I have no information on this, however.
Yeah. Who knows? Yakuza creator Toshihiro Nagoshi steps down as CCO, becomes a creative director. So that's actually pretty good. He's going to take like a more hands-on role in the video games. So maybe we'll see some
more hands-on.
Yeah, as like a creative director.
I want to play the new one because I like Dragon Quest. You see.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
It's another one that's pretty funny. I think you'd enjoy it.
Oh, I think so.
I'm still slowly trying to get through the Yakuza games. I'm still on 0.
You're further than I am, mate. Further than I am.
Yeah.
I love watching them speedrun, though. I think they're very funny games.
I just like anything with Majima in it. He's pretty hilarious. Pretty much every scene I've seen with Majima is just like hilarious. New Battlefield is apparently to be revealed in spring.
Wouldn't be surprised if that potentially gets kicked back a bit, depending on how something we're going to talk about later pans out.
Yeah, most definitely. So the composer for the Silent Hill and the Contra games teased a project in an interview that's supposed to be coming out soon. Mm-hmm. But then, like, right after that, they were told to take the video interview down.
Oh.
So I think he might have not been able to talk. So there's always been rumors about a new Silent Hill coming out.
Yeah.
And I think this is pretty much it here.
Oh, whoops.
It's a safe bet. I mean, Akira Yamaoka. Yes, Yamaoka is the lead composer. He does the compositions for, most notably Silent Hill, but also a few lesser-known titles: Killer is Dead, Rumble Roses, Contra. And whilst there's a chance that perhaps he was speaking about one of those titles, the wording that he used was pretty much, this is the game you've been waiting for, Silent Hill.
Yeah.
And so that could have been construed by Konami as... not Konami. Is it Konami?
Yeah, Konami's the
yeah.
That,
yeah. It was probably construed as Konami was like, that's a bit too close to a confirmation. How about you all hold off on putting up that interview?
Either that or maybe it was Sony Japan Studio that told him the hush-hush on that one. Because there is rumor that Silent Hill's being done by Sony Japan.
Interesting.
It's been like 10 years, hasn't it, since the last Silent Hill game?
Oh, when was the last time? It was the Silent Hill The Room? No, wait.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
it must have been up.
No,
No.
the room.
There was another one, right?
There's
They
one
wanted
after
to
the
make
room.
PT, right? They wanted to make PT.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the last Silent Hill game I think was 2009.
Ah.
No, Downpour was in 2012.
Oh.
Okay, all right. Oh, geez, that's still a while, isn't it?
What console
Oh yeah,
was
no,
that?
it's still a ways back.
When was that?
Uh,
What platform was it?
Downpour would have come out on the on like the PS3 and 360.
Oh no, the last
Oh,
one
okay.
was Book of Memories.
I don't know this title.
Silent
Okay,
Hill Book of
we're
Memories
all-
is PlayStation. It's a PlayStation Vita entry.
Ah,
Vita
that's why I don't
one,
know
Right. Okay.
it. Not to be mean, but
Everyone's spaghetti with this. Okay, cool.
But
I
Downpour did come
didn't
out in
play.
2012, so like both
Ah.
Book of Memories and Downpour
Okay,
came out
there
the
you
same
go.
year.
All right.
Yamaoka
Sweet.
also was executive producer for the Silent
the
Hill
movies.
film. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
both
Which
of them, I
is-
believe.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I think it might have been both. I honestly haven't seen the second one because I didn't hear good things about it, but the first
Neither
one
of
was
Same, buddy.
the first one's great. Really
Same.
good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The first one's creepy and horrific.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the second one though.
Mm.
I think I've watched the
notice
first
we all
one.
had the same reaction to it.
Yeah.
We'll let someone else take that bullet for us.
Oh, I've been playing what is it, Resident Evil 7, and that's
Ooh.
pretty much Silent Hill, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least
I
7.
guess.
Well, 7 is pretty much Silent Hill because it's first person and it's a hell of a lot more scarier than the other Resident Evil games. I can tell you that.
I think basically all Japanese horror, like after Silent Hill, has been incredibly informed by Silent Hill. To be honest,
I would agree.
Oh yeah.
I would agree a lot.
So that's very exciting.
A thought occurs to me, and Lee, I believe you said it. I couldn't hear it over the voices, but PT came out in 2014.
Jeez.
So I mean that's still a ways back.
Yeah.
And a piece of trivia kind of just flew back into my head. PT was not allowed to be cross-platform, let's call it. It's not one of the games that's at all allowed to be moved between PS4 to PS5 in any form.
Yeah.
Now, that could just be because it's a cancelled game and it doesn't count and they don't want to deal with this. Or, as is hinted by our composer friend, maybe it's because they're doing something with it and it's only been 7 bloody years.
Ooh.
Hopefully.
Curious about that because there was a lot of bad blood, so to speak, with PT because of the whole Kojima thing and whatnot, you know.
Mhm.
And Del
What?
Toro as well. Was he on the project briefly?
Yeah.
I
Del Toro was
Yes.
supposed to be on the project. Yeah.
Yeah, see, so like they left on bad terms.
It's
Really?
true.
So-
However, I do not believe Konami. Well, first of all, obviously Kojima's not going to be the one working on this.
That we know of.
Assumedly.
We know of.
We could be
But-
surprised, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, never say never, right? But the other side of this is PT was also a massive hit culturally, not even just from a gaming standpoint. This is like one of those things like Among Us and Fall Guys that just it kind of grew and like everyone was like, yeah, no, you got to give this a go. Like if you're even remotely interested in horror as a genre, have a look see. So I wouldn't be
Yeah, I
surprised
agree.
them having just going, look, I mean, nothing we've done since has garnered this kind of attention. Maybe we give it another go, with or without Kojima.
Yeah. Yeah, no joke though. I know people who are specifically saving their PS4
Yes.
Yeah.
Fun-
for-
fun
just
bit
to
of trivia.
just to keep it.
Fun bit of trivia about
Uh-huh.
that.
Uh-huh.
It's not only you have to save your PS4, but you can't update it.
Oh, I didn't know
Gosh,
this.
really?
Yeah, so if you update it like after they pulled it, after they canned it, then you can't play the game anymore. You don't have access to it. So there's like a market on eBay and various places specifically for PS4s that have not been updated since the installation of PT because it's the only way that that game is still playable, and they go for an absolute mozza.
Yeah.
I've seen the prices on eBay.
Yeah,
They are a premium, yes.
yeah.
I mean, people really love it.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, there have been people that, like, even to this day, people are still modding PT to find, like, itty bitty, like, things that, like that Kojima had like put in there, or like whoever was like doing this was putting in there. Because like I think it was like maybe about a year ago, they finally found out that when you're not looking behind you, that the thing that's supposed to be like following you is actually always behind you.
Yeah.
Oh,
it
I
just
saw an
turns with
image
you,
of
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, jeez. It's so good.
So I love seeing stuff like that. But I mean, I hope there is a new Silent Hill game in the works, because honestly, we kind of need it.
Yeah, I love Silent Hill 3. It's my favorite.
It's a nice cerebral horror. It's not just jump scares and zombies. So
It was nice to hear about this next game, because I didn't know if this game was ever gonna like be talked about ever again. But EA confirmed, BioWare confirmed that they haven't canned Anthem and they're still working on it. But they're also going to have a meeting this week on if they're going to can Anthem or continue working on it.
I don't know anything. I'm not in that kind of circle. I can't say this definitively, but this sounds like a very, very kind way of publicly saying we're stopping this project.
Yeah. Well, I believe they should can it. I mean, like, put your resources somewhere else. You tried something, it failed.
The last time I heard about this project actually was in reference to what's assumed to be DA4. And that's that the head of... was it the lead director on this Anthem 2.0 was pulled to be put on to Dragon Age. So that certainly doesn't bode well for it.
Yeah, that's because Dragon Age has been losing developers left and right.
Look, I didn't say Dragon Age was in a good place. I just said Anthem was worse.
Well, no, see, what they should do is just can like making Anthem next. I mean, you tried it. It was a nice concept. It failed. Try again, like, in the next, like, 15 years or something like that. Take those 90 developers that you have on Anthem next. Put them to Dragon Age. Make this Dragon Age actually good compared to the other three that are relatively mediocre.
Hey, whoa. Hold on. Now you're insulting me.
I mean, they were.
Origins was fantastic.
Origins is...
2 gets
Origins.
a lot of
Yeah.
flack.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Inquisition that there's not.
All right, so I have some table scraps here, and I choose to give them to the dog instead of putting them in the trash with 2 in Inquisition. That's what Origins is.
You should have said
You think
egg.
Origins is table scrapped?
I think Origins is okay, and then they flopped on 2 in Inquisition.
Listen, the only
2 is
difference
literally
between
just
Origins-
copy-paste.
The only difference between Origins and KOTOR is lightsabers.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, I'm not crazy.
It's the same fucking game otherwise, and it's great.
It's
Yeah.
so good. And 2 gets a lot of flack. I think 2 does great character-wise and only character-wise, and that's it. But characters are important.
Yeah.
And Inquisition was, again,
Inquisition.
really, really good character-wise and only character-wise, and even then, sometimes it wasn't great.
Well, I don't agree. It's like I don't agree with half of that, because most of Dragon Age's choices, you don't really have choices in the end.
You're playing an MMO that does exactly the same thing.
Okay, well, see, I'm not playing the MMO for choices. All right, I'm playing the MMO because it has a good story. What does Dragon Age have? Not a good story.
It has egg.
In the end of like Dragon Age Inquisition or whatever, you choose one side and you fight the other, or you choose the other side and fight the other, and then you fight the same side that you just chose. So like, you don't. There's no choosing. You either choose 2 fights or you choose 1 fight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm certainly not going to argue with you on that one.
So like, I mean, I don't know. I look at Dragon Age and I see that as like. I love KOTOR. Don't get me wrong. I love KOTOR. I think KOTOR 2 is a bit better than KOTOR 1.
Ooh,
No, and I know that's a hot take.
He's just full of spicy
that
takes.
is a hot take.
And the only reason I think that way is because I even though the battle system's like pretty much similar. I just feel like a little bit. I think Obsidian put a little bit more into actually making the game than BioWare did.
Okay.
Where have I
That's
heard
fair.
this story before?
Where-
This is a Fallout. This is a Fallout New Vegas versus 3 joke.
yeah, this is.
This is a thinly veiled shot at it.
I do like the story of KOTOR 1 more. But I also and I like the decision making in KOTOR 1 more than I do in KOTOR 2.
I assume you guys have already talked about the distinct possibility of another KOTOR game coming down.
That was
pipeline
that
with
was
the-
last week.
with the advent of LucasArts. I mean Lucasfilm Games.
Yeah.
I really
Yes.
wish they'd just gone back to their old name.
I know. Man, that was like the saddest day of my life, honestly, when LucasArts was actually no, that's
they dissolved.
hyperbole. That's a little bit of hyperbole there.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. So okay, do you have a theory on what developer's going to be making this KOTOR game? No.
No. I just think that sooner or later, like, it's such a safe bet at this point.
Oh, actually, well, I mean, I don't know if you read, but like the rumblings are that a KOTOR game is in development.
Yeah.
So like, and like Jason Schreier said, it was like not a developer that we expect.
Yeah, well, they were saying, who was it? It was there was a developer that was saying like, hey, we're working on like an open world.
Oh, that's
Star Wars.
that's Missive Entertainment with Ubisoft.
Yes.
It was.
Yeah.
Yes, Ubisoft. Yeah. Yes, and the rumblings are that may be somehow attached to KOTOR, to that sort of
Yeah,
I
that's what
guess,
I was
theme
speculating.
timeline.
Because I saw lots of like hirings from that studio related to a Star Wars project. The one in Ubisoft, that is.
Yes,
Is it
yeah,
Sweden? I think it was Sweden.
It was in Sweden, Missive
Yeah.
Studios.
Like all I can think about when Ubisoft's attached to it, I was like, so what? We're just gonna climb to a tower and unlock a section of the map, but we're gonna have a lightsaber instead of a hidden.
I mean, maybe, but like Star Wars Assassin's Creed, that'd be all right. You know?
Yeah.
Jedi Fallen Order was basically like a Star Wars, Bloodborne, and it was pretty dope.
It was pretty dope. I do love Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah, I think, Aqua, you and I we hear game studios and we immediately just go, bad feeling. But the fact of the matter is, just Star Wars alone is going to make a lot of these games just feel better than maybe they even are.
Dude, I just want EA to not touch Star Wars ever again.
Well, you're not getting that. Fallen Order did really well.
I feel like EA didn't actually even touch that. I feel like
No,
Respawn said, we're going to make
Yes.
this game, and then EA was like, okay.
I mean, that's very likely the case, but fact of the matter is, falls under the EA umbrella, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, a lot of stuff falls under the EA umbrella that just
You
needs to
ain't
not.
kidding.
Just needs to not. So,
I, for one, look forward to whatever comes from the Star Wars games in the future.
Oh, same.
I just expect them all to be very good. Please let that be a Mando one.
I'm waiting for the early 2000 era of there being a bunch of B-rated or like AA rated Star Wars games where they're not like absolutely amazing, but they're still really good.
Hey, listen, Jedi Knight series was amazing.
I know.
Okay?
Yeah, we need
Yeah,
dude. Imagine a UE4 Jedi Knight game.
I can.
Well,
Yep.
they'll never bring Kyle Katarn back.
You don't know. They can make
because,
them canon.
Not canon anymore.
They can make them canon.
Yeah. Well, Disney does seem to
think
be
so.
lightening up on that, reintroducing ideas. Maybe not one-to-one characters and planets, but
Yeah.
ideas similar to the extended universe. So.
Well, Fallen Order felt like a spiritual successor to the Jedi Knight series, and I was really happy with that. The top of my wish list is a new Fallen Order game, but Kyle's never coming back. Kyle Katarn, his like design was collapsed into Cassian Andor, and we're getting a series on Disney Plus about Andor, which should be interesting. He was an interesting character, deserved a little bit more, but who knows?
So Forza's coming to PC, first time ever.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
the only reason this is important is because it's another like very Microsoft trademark game turning up on Steam. The only other one I can think of being Halo, and these are both pretty surprising and just shows that mayhaps Microsoft really is just interested in getting their hands on as many people before. I genuinely don't know. All of these seem like really bad ideas, if I'm honest, but
Hey,
they're doing it, so
just to let you
it's
know,
there.
just to let you know,
Cars are pretty.
Microsoft has the most PS5 exclusive titles than any other developer or publisher does.
Why are you like this?
Do you know about that?
Is that true? Is that real?
Okay, Ghostwire Tokyo, PS5 exclusive, just got their parent company just got bought out by Microsoft.
Okay,
And-
wait. You're talking about
Yes.
publishers
Yes, he
that were
is.
bought out like after the fact.
Yeah,
Yes.
but it's still funny.
It is funny. Yes.
This is
funny.
exactly why I had the reaction I did.
Everything
Okay.
everything that was under the umbrella of ZeniMax Studios or whatever that had a
that's
contract
fair.
with Sony to be PS5
Yeah.
exclusive still
Yeah.
is PS5 exclusive. So
Wait a second.
Oh, jeez.
You're technically correct. The very best kind of correct.
so imagine you getting your hands on a Ghostwire Tokyo like case or whatever, and plastered on the front is not only Sony but Microsoft on there because they're still a publisher for it.
They just crossed out the PS5 logo and wrote Xbox next to it. Yeah.
Honestly, I would love it.
Mm.
I would absolutely keep that box special because you'd never see anything like that again.
Yeah. So last before our big section is E3 is going to exist this year apparently.
What does that mean?
Digitally.
Funny you should ask. Leak is correct. It is digital, but past that, it's kind of up in the air. Because the bits and pieces that most consumers want from E3 isn't E3 itself. It's the demonstrations that come before. Sorry, the presentations that come before. And those are absolutely opt-in, and a lot of the companies went on to have their own versions that are more successful.
Mm-hmm.
So they might be struggling to fill E3 with stuff.
They'll
But
still
they
get
want
Square
it to
stuff.
exist.
They'll still get Square stuff.
I'm
Hopefully,
sure the
maybe.
actual event itself will have demos and trailers, but being digital immediately kind of does invalidate the E3 idea.
Mhm.
This is where industry folks get together and get hands-on, past gaming with new tech, new ideas. This is a place for meeting other people in the industry and forming terrible alliances and being absolute grade schoolers.
Yep.
It's wonderful.
Yeah. Yep. It's where games devs go to get drunk and molest one another.
Yeah, so it's strange to like literally E3 in a digital sense doesn't actually make sense. I'm still rooting for it. There is a piece of me. I think Ralph of SkillUp kind of echoed this sentiment, or I guess I'm echoing his. There is a piece of me that is just like on lizard brain level super excited during the E3 time frame of the year. Because that's when all the games get announced.
Mm-hmm.
So in that way, I'm kind of excited because I like that like rush of hype when you learn about the next 6 months worth of games, and you get to see new ideas take off or absolutely burn to a crisp. But yeah, it's just a weird thing. E3 as a digital showcase.
Yeah,
I
I
mean-
can see what you mean.
I think it's going to end up like how it did last year, where we get a bunch of news, but it's all sparsed out between like May and August.
That would be pretty bad for E3 as a concept going forward. That would pretty much be the worst possible thing. Because if everyone doesn't come together to use it as a platform, it's just not going to be like fiscally responsible to keep having it.
Honestly, they should probably kind of cut it out anyway, because most companies were backing out of E3 even before the pandemic.
Yep, that was the assumption at the beginning of last year, and it has not changed.
So, I mean, you've had Nintendo doesn't need to do their own, does their own thing. Microsoft is starting to do their own thing. Sony has already started doing their own thing. Square can easily do their own thing if they really wanted to. Almost Devolver Digital is literally just a shit show of doing whatever the fuck they want anyway, so they can literally not do anything.
Yeah. 2020 was pretty good about showing that E3 is sort of irrelevant to the consumer.
Yeah.
Again, that may not be the case for the developer and the journalist side of things.
No.
And
Yeah.
I think that having it digital just doesn't help it in that regard either. So we'll see.
I can speak to this a little bit that without physical conventions and trade shows and stuff like that, it becomes exponentially more difficult to secure interviews and stuff like that. Just because there is so much time allocated by developers in those periods to engaging with media, whereas a normal work week they don't want to.
Yeah.
So unless you're a massive media platform, if you're particularly if you're freelancing, stuff like E3, stuff like PAX and all of these conventions and events are really the only way to get proper FaceTime with devs. So that is going to be a little bit frustrating. But I think beyond that, 2020 has really put, I think, physical conventions to the test, and I'm a little bit worried that it's a bit of a double-edged sword, but I would not be surprised if we just stop seeing stuff like PAX and E3 be so kind of common and regular and I don't know, I really think the whole status quo for the way that we kind of approach releases and consume preview content is definitely going to be shifting online from this year onwards.
I think you're spot on.
Yeah, I think you're spot on too. Which sucks because I know a lot of us love to go to a certain little place we love to go every couple of years, and I honestly I feel like that's a little different from normal announcements or whatever, because of the development team for 14 anyway.
Yeah.
Well, let's remember that FanFest goes beyond just being a games industry thing. That is genuinely a festival for the
American.
fans.
We were poking fun at BlizzCon the other week, but yeah, it's very similar.
It's incredibly inefficient as an industry event, industry folks that are not super hardcore Final Fantasy 14 fans. They're what? I'm gonna dedicate 4 days just for one game?
Rock, paper, shotgun. No, wait, what? Sorry, I had some Corona stuck in me.
Something in your throat there a little bit.
Yeah, I think it was Corona.
But it's not an approachable event for games media. Everyone from games media that has gone there have been sort of awestruck by it. But there has been so much hesitation for people to actually want to go and engage with it.
It's way too specific.
Yeah.
We just start looking like we're crazed fanatics for Yoshi, man.
I mean, we are. So.
We are.
Yeah.
That's the plus side.
We're tempered. Speaking of 14, hey,
let's get to the meat and potatoes.
Hey, this is the big part, man.
Nice segue.
So something happened Friday, and I think it was pretty big. So normally we would have a fan fest where we would all go out to either, like this year was supposed to be San Diego, where we would have gotten the news for this expansion that has just been announced. But they had a online announcement where Yoshi P and Koji Fox stood in a auditorium by themselves to announce that 14's getting a new expansion called Endwalker.
Endwalker.
So I put trailer as the first bit of news, first bit of like I want to talk about, but that's actually not the first bit I want to talk about. All right.
Oh, really?
How did they sweep Endwalker under the fucking rug with us?
Yes, thank you. We were not expecting that title.
We've been
At
so
all.
good the past how many expansions? We've been so good. Yoshi P was like, nah. We're gonna pick
Not this time.
we're gonna pick a name that Square has already trademarked years in advance for this fucking game, and I think that's what they did.
Oh, that's
don't
news
know.
to me.
Because we would have seen it, right? Like literally, we would have seen the trademark for this come out at some point in
I
time.
mean,
Yeah.
not if they do the job really well.
Well, I mean, it's filed, so you see, you see these trademarks, like they're after they're trademarked, they're public. So if people are looking,
That's fair, actually. Yeah, no, that is absolutely.
Well,
would
they
seen
have
it.
been. They was eye zooming into two particular names.
yeah, it was either Forspoken or it was
Yeah.
A Hero's Bond, which
Yes,
literally
yes.
sounds like a patch name.
Mhm.
But
Forspoken was the bait. There's
Yeah.
is never going. Forspoken will never exist. They're never going to
No.
attach that name to a project.
yeah, they were.
We
Yeah.
also
It's
believe
literally
this.
just a red herring.
Like, hats off to them. Like, since everything is going digital now, is like leaks are not me, but the bad leaks are some I don't know. Yeah, but like
I don't know. You're a
people are
pretty
worried
bad mama jamma.
Yeah, I can't speak normally. Don't distract me. But no, gosh, yeah, no. People are worried about leaks, especially this day and age, because of COVID and whatnot happening. Everyone having to stay home and not going out to like places like E3 and whatnot. How do they keep things secret?
Yeah.
And here we are.
Well, I feel like because again, we would have seen this. Like somebody browsing, because there's probably always somebody in the 14 community looking up like trademarks from Square, like probably weekly to see what the fuck's going on.
Especially nowadays when they can double down on their findings for 14 and for 7.
Yeah. So I actually literally think like Yoshi P was probably looking through the fucking filing cabinet of like all these trademarks that they have, and they're like, Endwalker sounds nice, and Square has trademarked this for like the past 20 years. Yeah, let's use this. This will do. Oh, hey look, there's a what should we do? We should trademark a name to make them think that it's this thing, while we're like he get fucked bitches, because this is actually the name. Which, by the way, Endwalker sounds a lot better than Forspoken. I will agree with this.
Forspoken is allowed to exist if it is an Urianger centric.
Yeah.
It's just an
Expansion.
Urianger expansion.
It's 7.0. 7.0 is Forspoken, man.
It's he's the only character allowed to have that name tied to an expansion.
Mhm. Yeah, it's an Urianger dating simulator.
Yeah.
Look, listen. In
I are
5.0,
Forspoken.
we saw his arms, and everyone was like, "Oh, okay, we know what's under there now."
No, we're Forspoken to Ariane, because that means it means bewitched, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like we are Forspoken to Ariane, because we are bewitched by his manly muscles that nobody knew he
Like
had.
triceps.
Yeah.
I knew. I always knew.
Oh, of course you did. And I guess the Crystal Exarch knew too.
Rita always knew. That's why she was.
Oh yeah,
like,
Moon
Yeah.
Brita
Oh,
definitely.
she was
did.
on that
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
She saw how many books at a time he was lifting off of those shelves.
Actually, let's be real here. The reason why he's so jacked is because he didn't have Moon Brita.
Why you gotta make us sad like that?
Can you elucidate on that a little bit? I'm not quite sure what you mean.
Well, okay. Let's talk about the description of the Moonbreeder minion?
Yes,
This is
please.
gonna
No,
get-
please elaborate for us.
In
What
lame-
is it that you're implying?
In layman's term, he had a lot of
Yeah.
time with that Moonbreeder minion because you know.
I don't think we follow, actually.
Brow
Is-
chicka brow brow.
Are you
Think
implying
the
that
English
Urianger is ambidextrous?
I'm applying that he probably furiously did it with his right hand and then did the stranger for a while with his left.
You just go straight for it, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I was so kind to the concept of Urianger just lifting heavy goddamn lithograms and whatnot. And you're in it for the masturbatory humor.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
that's
okay.
I mean, hey,
Gosh, can we talk about that moment though? Because like there was a big discrepancy between the English description of this minion and the other languages. That
Oh,
English
yeah.
one was the only one that implied apparently that particular thing.
I mean,
Yeah, no, I didn't know this.
Koji Fox exists, so
Yeah.
that's why.
Yeah. You know that there's a missing 1.0 NPC, a Gridanian
Oh.
archer named Longhaft,
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
that wrote a song of his conquests that Koji wrote and was not allowed to put in the game.
I love that. This
Yeah, so-
is the kind of trivia I live for.
We nearly had our own lusty Argonian maids, but it was all, like way too intense. But
Damn it.
it exists out there in some
love-
form in Koji's
I love
notebook.
that this is the thing.
Yeah.
Dude, I bet you Moose got to read it.
Probably. He probably co-wrote it.
Yeah, to be fair.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, Endwalker got announced, and they showed us a nice trailer. And the I think in the words of Mr. Happy, in the first 10 seconds, or actually first like 2 seconds, Moon.
Fly me to the moon. Let me play among the stars.
So we're going to the moon, guys. We're gonna see a GameStop and a AMC theater up there.
Probably a
Okay.
blockbuster as well. But I mean, the four of us, Aqua, Leek, myself, and Talia, she was with us. We had a very, very good laugh about
Oh, I know.
about
I
that.
know. I know.
Like, it wasn't even subtle either. It was like right in your face immediately in that trailer.
Yeah. Yeah.
And after years of listening to our resident lore boy say we're never going to the moon, it's ridiculous, it'll never happen. It was just there was just this sense of awe and like vindication about it. We had seen Elidibus and Albert on that moon so many times. We knew we were going there one day.
So okay, this all goes back to 2015 when we first saw the Void Ark floating around the Sea of Clouds.
Yeah.
And Mike was like, "Oh, that's the lunar whale. We're going to the moon." And I was like, "We're not. We know what it is. We're not going to the moon, you dummy. Like, if you've been paying attention, like you already know what that." And the thing is that like he had so much fun leaning into that, and the community had so much fun leaning into that it just got stuck. This position of me being the in denial moon man, it just got stuck for 6 years now, and it's a position that like it's a corner that I've just been like backed into. and sweating over here, you know, as we see like Elidibus hanging out on the moon, you know, and we get shots of like ruins in the background of like Zodiac statues and shit. And I'm just like, no. So most recently, I've been saying like my concession has been, okay, look, we'll get a trial on the moon, but that's it. That's all I'm accepting.
No, it's a location. Wait, it's a location. We're going. And there's
they
air.
showed off the actual lunar whale. It might just
Mm-hmm.
be an in-game joke mount, but I don't know what that thing on the poster is. Looks pretty lunar whaley to me.
It looks like a Ragnarok. It looks like
Yeah.
one of the Ragnarok interment hulks.
Guys, I'm going full like tinfoil hat. It's just a giant tombstone. That's all it is.
Dude,
I mean,
no,
that's basically what the Ragnarok is.
it's a Rowena's spaceship, man.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
exactly. It's a giant tombstone.
It.
Uh-huh.
What do you think she's building it out of?
It's literally just a Jenga block of tombstones that she's building to make a space
Yep.
elevator.
It's the most advanced USB you've ever seen, because we're going to dock and port, and the whole moon's going to light up like the 4th of July.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you might as well talk about the logo. That's part of the trailer, right? Like, that's
Yes,
either
yes.
that tower is either supposed to be indicative of Fan Daniel's sort of central control tower that's obliterated Garlemald, or it's again a Ragnarok Hulk, which for those of you who don't know, basically the Allegan space project was about these starships, these Ragnaroks, and they were basically used to form Dalamud. Like Dalamud's kind of skeleton was like built out of these things. But
Alright.
we've often suspected, like, okay, the Allegan Empire fell, but it fell like as they were on the cusp of their space age. Why is it not perfectly conceivable that some of them got away, or some of them were up there, like when it all went down? You know, we know that Azazla had not been completely evacuated. We know that presumably there would have been like a skeleton crew like on Dalamud. I've always had this idea in my mind of like a Dalamud Deep Space Nine.
Oh my goodness. Imagine.
But what?
Oh my gosh.
Wouldn't most of the people that were actually on Dalamud probably be tempered by Bahamut anyway?
I mean, by now, sure. Yeah.
I think at least by that point.
Well, he was Neuralinked. It's just the Neuralinks weren't very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they'd been sabotaged by
We got
Sophia
Allegans
Twelve.
on the moon now. Is this where we got the moon space?
Yeah,
one?
I mean,
that's probably
it,
it,
right?
Allegan
Yeah,
Space
yeah.
Station.
Moon base one. Sorry.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
gosh.
kind of the implication, right? Is that if it's a zone, there's got to be like something there.
Well,
Yeah.
Lunarians.
And yeah, well, yeah. I mean, like the Lunarians may just be survivors of,
Yes.
you know, an Allegan crew that ended up like crashing there, right after their
Mhm, mhm.
calamity.
I can see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Allegans.
I tell you what, though, Ethys, because you brought up a point that I hadn't even considered, in that the in the poster that image is not in fact a spacecraft, but it's a tower. I hadn't considered that, but it could just be a very, very intensely, intense perspective-wise tower. I hadn't thought about it at all, mostly because of the way it comes into screen during the trailer, which we will get to in a second, I promise. It does kind of fly into the trailer, and that could be purposefully misleading. It's not as if these two men, in particular, haven't done this to us before.
Mm-hmm.
And Lord knows if there is a tower in Garlemald. I say if. There is a tower in Garlemald. And presumably, if it's being used to funnel information, or otherwise, if it's linked to anything, it could be linked to another tower in the moon. Entirely possible.
Yep. I
Well,
mean,
should we go through the trailer?
yeah,
Should.
yeah, I can actually bring it up. I probably won't
Alright.
bring it up for the for the recording, but I'll.
Well, we basically start. I mean, you know, on the moon. We call that.
Yeah.
But the main action with Alfino and Alize finding the Darhawks or Ananta Boga. They've got like a couple of different names. Basically, we usually see them as void sent that have been summoned into the bodies of dragons. But these ones in particular, these particular skins we were fighting in the Amarot dungeon, they're Terminus beasts.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
that
final
was all the
days.
final days thing. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
There we go.
At least the final. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. Oh my
Was this
day.
before or after you saw the burning map?
That was after.
After.
Yeah.
We go to the moon, we see him walking, and then we hear
We hear
we
Emmett
hear
Selk.
Emmett's talk about the final days of Amarant.
Yeah.
And this is literally just lines from the Amarant dungeon. So to contextualize this for people, as Fan Daniel's already told us, he plans to recreate the final days. And what the final days were literally were the ancients losing control of their creation magics as the result of the keening, this terrible sound that was coming up from the earth, and it caused them to kind of spontaneously start losing control of their creation magics and summoning their own kind of nightmares. The worst of which were these terminus beasts that we basically fight the bosses through the Amarant dungeon. Are kind of like representations of them.
So you guys can see the trailer on the screen, right? Okay.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So before we close in on the full end of the map, you notice that the dragons up here in the corner up here are actually moving.
That's something that happens on every time they show these maps during these particular trailers.
Yeah, they have them
keep
layered.
the maps.
Yeah.
You
But
notice that Bismarck swims through the clouds as well. So.
Yeah.
I would wager that they would help, though. If this is the end of the world.
Yes, that's the thing. Like, I think I see what Aqua's getting at. I was talking about this with Mike the other day, was like the Stormblight Media Tour. I was asking Yoshida, I was like, okay, so are the Dragons going to start getting involved in the Garlean War now that they know the Garleans are kind of going after Neuralinking technology? And like, that was the whole thing that caused, the subjugation of Mericidia, and like maybe Tiamat could be, compelled to like get invested again. And he was like, look, the Garlean Empire, it's just not big enough threat for them to kind of care about at the moment.
Yeah, these really are terminus beasts because they have completely different coloring. Yeah,
it's the exact same skin as the ones in the Amarant dungeon. But you're right. Like, I see what you're getting at there, Aqua, is that if anything is gonna make the dragons get off their butts, it's gonna be the apocalypse.
Yeah.
And to that note, we also have another major faction committed to non-intervention in the Sharlians, who also they would not be in denial about this being the apocalypse, right? There's got to be a point where they are like, okay, you know what?
Are you implying that we've gone to the Charlanes for their sage advice?
See, now, hear my thing now, because we don't go to Sharlayan to learn Sage, because the job thing is in Limsa. So my theory is that actually there is a breakaway from Sharlayan, and people come to do stuff here. There's going to be some people that just refuse to change from tradition, but I think some folks that have enough and want to come, and they land in Limsa, and I'm assuming that's where, they said that's where Alfano learns it.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's an interesting point. And I guess to that, we don't pick up Samurai in Kugane. We don't pick up Red Mage in Girabanya. And that's because, they started an earlier level than we have access to that. So,
Yeah.
Gotta remember, like, this job Sage is going to be starting at level 70. And, we can't get that in Sharlayan.
Yeah, that's true.
I suspect
but also those characters individually were also either lone wolves or breakaways.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the quest giver is probably going to be one of the Circle of Knowing that we either haven't encountered yet or just has been kind of like pretty sort of background. So
God, we're gonna meet Teller.
Possibly.
Oh, do you think that would be?
I think they're gonna one-to-one name him Teller.
Yeah.
Oh, please.
They've introduced Cryo, so I don't think that they'll shy away from that kind of.
Yeah. Oh, I'd be all for that.
Yeah, for sure.
He just comes sliding in like that illustration that you see.
So where they're fighting here is the city of Nim. Yeah, so it's where that tower in Lenosha has appeared.
So do we think that we're gonna get like and like some extra bit of zones to go to this tower, to maybe some of these certain towers?
Perhaps I'm expecting it to be a dungeon.
I'm expecting them to be instance duties.
Yes, I would.
Like the main scenario instance duties.
Yeah, I would expect that as well. I mean, I would love this seems like a good opportunity to kind of give us extra zones in Eorzea, like the parts of Eorzea we haven't seen. Just make them the parts that are on fire, and actually make them zones. But I don't think we're at that point yet.
There was an illustration of a place we've never been to before that was on fire.
Mm.
Yeah, that's most likely going to be in Thavnair.
That is absolutely in Thavnair.
Yeah.
But the implication here is that we're trying to get to these towers.
Yeah.
And what we're going to be finding at these towers is going to be terminus beasts. Well, that's the thing. That's going to be like the action that gets us into these places, right? Is like, oh, well, there'll be a tower in Thavnair, so we got to go to Thavnair, right?
Yeah.
And there are going to be these terminus beasts, again, like the ones we fight in Amarot. They're kind of like the basic, Ananza Bogger and stuff like that we're fighting here. And then there's going to be the big bad ones like Anima.
Yeah, we're going to assume Anima's the terminus beast?
Yes.
Oh,
okay.
Definitely fits the aesthetic.
It does.
I agree.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
those are going to be our 8-mans.
Yeah, we know where for the first location we'll probably go to, because that tower, you can just see from this trailer, you can see the floating isles of, is it Nim?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see those in the background.
Mm-hmm.
This will probably be one of the actual first places we check out after like the whole this
exactly.
whole like end of the days starts.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll be nice as a level anything above 50 wandering through Eorzea with purpose again. Sorry, wandering through specifically the older like 2.0 zones with purpose again.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. A real kind of return to Eorzea after all the action of Shadowbringers and everything in the Far East. It's like we've kind of been hoping for a while to get back to it.
Yeah, but more importantly, in this fight with these terminus beasts, we're shown that one warrior light's a paladin in this game, in this expansion.
Literally Cecil.
Yeah, it's just
Cecil.
So you say this, all right, but Yoshi P also had an interview with the Game Watch that just happened like right after the announcement, and he didn't mention Cecil at all.
No, because
I think it's because he doesn't
really
have
need
to.
mentioning.
No. I mean, yeah, it doesn't need mentioning, but like this is Yoshi P we're talking about here. Like when in these types of interviews, you would assume that he would mention, look, there's a little bit of a 14 a Final Fantasy IV reference in here, whatever. But he just kind of brushes that aside and says, like, since this is the end or whatever, we feel like that the warrior light being a paladin is like we're just kind of like ending it off as he's the warrior of light, and when you think of warrior of light, you think of a bright shiny paladin.
I think that's kind of I don't want to say bullshit. There's the reasons for that I feel are twofold. Honestly, this is kind of, aside from the Crystal Tower being such a direct reference to 3, this is pretty blatant.
Yeah.
We know, like, we were a Dark Knight, we're becoming a Paladin, we're traveling with Estinian at some point. He got brought up very specifically.
He's going to get brainwashed.
A trust ally.
He's going to get tempered.
There's one of two things to think about this.
Sorry for Estinian again.
I also believed that for a moment, but I had to think when Ramza asked me something earlier. The Cecil imagery is pretty spot on, but I can't see them doing that to Estinian a second time. Estinian's second appearance. I keep forgetting about the Dragoon quest. His second appearance, his more prominent first appearance, was legitimately him as Cain. He's our buddy, maybe not, as close as Kane was with Cecil, but we're traveling with him. We're doing Thornton's work, and then boom, Nidhogg shows up and he gets brainwashed. I don't know that they do that again, but they do have a second option. If we are not Cecil, we are Theodore, and Estadian is here to play our guide as a Holy Dragoon. But that's literally just because I can't think of any other reason to have Estadian around other than just to be absolutely excellent alongside Von Belsar.
Yeah. Will we ever get a Van Belsar trust?
He
World
will
will never
definitely be
know.
showing up.
We have to
in
see
this.
how the weapons thing concludes, eh?
I can't imagine he doesn't show
Will he
up.
be around?
Can you imagine if they kill Van Belsar before we go to Garlemald?
They're not
Oh
going
my
to kill him in a
God.
heckin'
He'll be
side
fine.
quest.
He'll be off screen again. So we
No,
can all
no.
speculate.
Man too angry to die.
Seriously, I don't know that we're necessarily going to get him as a trust. I think that'd be wonderful. I genuinely feel, and this is kind of an unfair thing to foist upon the devs after just these first 10 years, goodness, after this amount of time, but like the trust system isn't really filled out. I'd love to have more, even just head swap models, just like body swap models that do the exact same thing. It's just a different character there. And I don't think
also
that's
like to change my
applicable.
costumes, but that's just glamour, whatever.
And I don't think it's applicable to Van Belsar. I think Van Belsar does deserve to be his own thing. But
Yeah.
anyway, the point I was originally going to make is, this is clearly very much full parallels everywhere. It's to the point that even someone who has a vague understanding of Final Fantasy can't help but see it.
Yeah. And more importantly, is our boy Alphino's growing up.
Mm-hmm.
He's not an academic. He's not a scholar anymore.
Yeah.
No. I saw a very funny fan art of the carbuncles piloting each and every one of those things he has. So you got every carbuncle in there piloting
man.
away.
So do you think he just left the carbuncles with someone and they're like crying like dogs do when you leave them in the house?
No! Like
That's
ripping
not
up
how
their furniture.
carbuncles work.
No, it's absolutely how. Forget the fact that you summon them into existence. Let's be real here. Everyone treats them as pets more than they do as partners. Do you think he's just left these ethereal
Listen.
creations with Tataru?
That's why I don't see Uriange in this trailer.
The-
He's like, no, please don't pee on thine bookcase. Stop.
The carbuncle is a diagram in his notebook and
Yes.
a gemstone in his pocket. That's literally all it is.
This is true.
This is my head
Oh,
canon.
they are
This is all
ethereal
headcanon.
homunculi.
Yeah.
So we're assuming that he learns this from his daddy, right?
I think that's possible. I wouldn't necessarily assume, but in the showcase they were talking about like, oh, where's Alize gonna get a new outfit from? Where's Alphino gonna learn Sage from? And you know, we've had like a model for their father since, well, there's a picture of him in the first lore book in Encyclopedia Eorzea Volume 1.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And again, he like was not on the same page as his father, Louis Soir, and you know, neither with Alphino and Alize, but he was, you know, like to each their own. Like, I'm gonna be sort of a champion for Sharlayan independence and non-interference, and he was like the major kind of proponent for them piecing out of Eorzea in the first place. But again, like, literal apocalypse comes around, like, okay, you know, calamity comes around, Sharlayans, we sleep. We know how this works. We understand this. But I think we're also going to find out that they know a lot more about the ancients and about Amarot than, you know, we had previously realized. And they're going to see the signs here, and they're going to be like, all right, okay, fine. It's time to get off our butts.
Ooh, oh boy, I would love to hear the conversation between specifically Alphino and anyone who suddenly decides to fill us in on this information. Under the assumption that we don't know.
Yeah.
We've come to
Yeah.
tell you about this ancient people that we are driven. We know.
Yeah.
You've known this whole time, and you're telling us now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, I would even go so far as like Neon Krepsin, the guy that, came with this impossibly sophisticated teleporting ship to kind of rescue as many people as he could to make, an advanced civilization of magi that could, hoard all this ancient knowledge and stuff like that. That's Axian business right there.
It does feel that way, yeah.
Yeah. So I would not be at all surprised. Like, for starters, we are 100% going to Charlene. It is going to be the major city hub. We were told, we're going to get a big one and a small one, like Yulmar and Crystarium. The small one's going to be Radzat Han. The big one's going to be Charlene. And we're going to find out that Charlene was founded by Asians and modeled after Amarant in a lot of ways, and it's only now that the Unsundered are all gone that they're like, oh good, our agreement with Elidibus is null and void.
Not so much the Asians, but the ones that were tempered to Hydaelyn, because they do have the anti-tower in Charlene.
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
So what if it's like Vana and their followers?
Yeah,
but it wouldn't
exactly.
matter.
That created Charlene.
Quite frankly, it wouldn't matter because they all come from the same source.
Yeah,
anyway.
I know.
Yeah.
But to be fair, good call. I wasn't thinking about the reverse Asian. What do we call
Yeah,
that?
they literally have a connection to Hydaelyn in that area.
Yes, you're right. That's why they established the colony there, like because they wanted to investigate the live stream and study Hydaelyn.
Yeah, so I definitely think they do have a connection to the ancients, but not the Asians. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah. Well, one way or another, yes. Alphino is. I really hope they do reconnect with their dad and we get to spend some time with.
That would be interesting.
I'd much rather meet their mum. Like, no one.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys have noticed, but no one in Final Fantasy XIV has a mother.
No,
like, literally no one. Mums don't exist in Final Fantasy XIV.
Oh, okay. Well, let's be fair here. Minfilia has an adopted mother.
Yeah, Flamine, and then her life's been perfectly peachy keen, hasn't it?
Yeah, but I still mean that she still exists.
Look, what Ethys means
like, not actually
is
that old, but she's like acting like an old woman.
What Ethys means is like a Claudia to a Cloud.
Mm-hmm.
It is so rare in Final Fantasy for that to exist.
Yeah,
like
so
Rosa to
14,
Theodore,
yeah.
And in 14 specifically, I mean, look, I tended to forget that children had a father because, as far as I was considered, I was their father. And I will protect these two from anything.
Yeah.
But it would be. I mean, if we're going
in the last patch, right? She was mentioned that Alphino is very similar to his mother.
Yeah.
Well, I think we'll see them both this expansion.
My assumption is that she's dead. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, of course she is.
I think if Charlene is where we're going, and I see no reason for it not to be, that obviously the twins are going to have like moments very similar to the beginning of Heavensward with House For Tom. I was everything in me not to say Helionot.
Oh god.
I see no reason not to parallel that, especially, with characters. Not that we didn't like the members of House for Tom, but like the twins have been with us in one form or another since the beginning of 2.0.
I mean, you say this, but like House for Tom will always be my character's family.
Don't get me wrong. I love House for Tom. I think the boys are good boys and try their best. I think Best Boy is currently holding up Ishgard from underneath a stone. But, I mean, we all can't make it through our own stories. And, like, Papa for Tom is great. I wish he could narrate all the things. But I still want to know about,
Nah, he doesn't have enough books to close.
We'll have, like, one of those, like, echo flashbacks, and we'll see their mother, and she'll have that particular anime hairstyle that all mothers have.
Oh my god, don't even.
Yep, that single ponytail over the shoulder.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
They do watch anime. They do watch anime over there at the dev
Of course
team.
they watch anime. Sage is a Gundam. Alfino became a new type. That is literally funnels he's working with.
And we're
That
gonna
was what I said the moment I saw. I was like, he's a Gundam now? What?
and we're gonna find Evangelion on the moon.
Yeah, even I like
Basically,
yeah.
Evangelion, but Evangelion's a bunch of fake woke imagery.
Yeah.
Evangelion's strongest writing point comes from just watching Shinji collapse as a person.
So moving on from the twins and we go to Fandango over here.
Yes.
Giving us all of the good movie listings that are on fire because of COVID.
Yes. All I want is to not get a kill steal this time, guys. Okay, give me the opportunity. No kill steal.
Like, so it's funny you should mention this because my thought is that Xenos is absolutely going to kill him before we get there.
No, don't do that to me a second.
Like,
I don't think that's it. Like, I think while I don't think that Fandango is the main, obviously he's not the main baddie because we're gonna fight Xenos, and I have a big old theory behind that. Yeah, but I do think that I think there's something more to like what he's dealing with that Fandango's trying to do here that isn't just trying to destroy the world.
No, he's not. He's not this kind of perfect nihilist. I mean, what he's doing is so dang obvious. What? Okay, why did the Ascians summon Zodiac? In the most like literal, basic,
because of the keening,
abstract sense.
Because of the keening.
Yes,
they wanted to save the world.
Yeah.
Yes, they did. They wanted to save the world, and the purpose of summoning Zodiac was to rewrite the laws of existence, to basically take the reins of creation and make the world the way that they wanted it to be. That's the power that Zodiac has. And what they wanted was to save it and to, like, maintain their kind of status quo. And it's what they've been kind of like fighting to restore ever since. But, Fandaniel has no such obligation as far as we know. And, in recreating the final days, he's trying to recreate that scenario, right? Where he can get to a position where he can rewrite the laws of existence. Elidibus is no longer at the heart of Zodiac. Well, that leaves space for Xenos, and Xenos will just go along with whatever Fandaniel wants, provided Xenos, gets his showdown with the Warrior of Light. What does almost every single Final Fantasy antagonist, what have they wanted? At the heart of it all, right?
To become God.
Exactly.
But here's what I don't specifically think that is going to be for like Fandaniel in a sense. I think his is more well,
he brought up Kuja, right?
Yeah,
Kuja wanted to just end everything.
So I don't think he wants to actually just end everything. I think he wants to bring out whatever is under Silvertier.
Do you think the source of the keening is under there?
Yeah, I think there's he wants to know what's under there, or like maybe there is like some kind of sentient being under there.
So I'm a little out of the loop. I haven't played the last patch. Is Silvertier relevant again? I feel like that's
it hasn't been mentioned again.
Yeah, I feel like that's something that they originally started out with and then they dropped because it's best left to a time when they don't have anything to do.
Yeah,
it's a nice trump card.
The presence of Silvertier was originally like where 1.0 was heading, right? As we saw the Battle of Silvertier skies, the seal there was breached, and we saw basically the forms of all those primals flying out, which may or may not have been metaphorical, and like that's where everything was sort of leading towards. And then Koji was sort of saying, well, they had to put that aside and start working towards, Meteor and A Realm Reborn and all that. But they were going to come back to that. We were going to learn in Heaven's Ward what that was all about. And we basically learned that like it's the source of ether. It's the kind of main ley line, the sort of ethereal heart of not only the source, but
Yeah.
all the shards is where all the shards kind of connect to. That's where like Heidelin is, basically. But we're all still suspecting that there's something else there. There's another presence there. And then at the end of 5.0, with the keening, this sound coming up from out of the earth, a lot of people were like, oh, maybe that's the thing that's under Silvertier. Maybe it wasn't destroyed by Zodiac so much as it was like sealed away. And maybe when Zodiac is gone, or whatever, it'll wake up again. And maybe this recreation of the final days by Fandaniel is an attempt to wake it up again. But that's not the way I kind of interpreted it, because the keening, the sound that this thing was making, was what was causing the Terminus beasts to appear, is what was making people lose control of their creation magics. And
Yes.
the towers aren't making that noise.
No.
They're just kind of recreating the effect of it by making people, compulsively summon these creatures. So I like the idea of it coming back to the presence under Silvertier, but I'm not sure like to what end Aqua Fandaniel would be trying to wake that up, unless it is, just that kind of nihilistic ideal of just wanting to destroy the world. And I don't think like he's being, I think he's being disingenuous in saying that. I don't think that's his goal.
Now, I should also say this, because Lee, Aqua, one of you brought up Kuja earlier, and that's what I likened
Kuja.
Fandaniel to earlier. Oh, sorry, Fandango to
Yeah.
before.
See, there's an
because,
interesting like contrast. I'll let you start. Sorry, but I've got something to say about that too.
Yeah, we do know with Pandemonium that's going to be the new raid series.
Yeah.
That's a direct reference to 9
And 2.
and to 2. Fair enough, but I mean, maybe he is just this petulant child that just wants to see it all end again.
He's just,
Yeah.
he's just watching the whole world burn. I mean, that's a map right there. So he's just watching it all burn.
So Kuja wanted to die because he was going to die. He didn't want to die. He wanted to end everything because he was going to die.
Yes.
At a limited life. But however, Fandango, or Fandaniel, I can't stop saying Fandango, he wants to die because he can't die, essentially. He wants to end everything because of that. So there's like, it's similar, but there's also like the two extremes almost.
Yeah. Now, I should definitely say that I don't actually think this anymore. But it was something that was brought. I was like, I guess there's a couple of parallels to it that could be made, and obviously Fandaniel was never going to be our end. I mean, I don't think he's going to be the end.
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
I guess I have a theory behind that.
So I think they could get away with just making him this brilliant but petulant child that is eventually dispatched, and we see the real enemy. I think that's a bit. But yeah, when I took time to stop and think about it, I was like, that's a bit beneath their writing style. That seems a bit too simple. I feel like there's going to be a layer that we're definitely missing.
I think I think on the end that like I like slightly agree with that. This like maybe he's not being like an actual petulant child and wanting everything to die. Maybe that's just like a facade. But I think that's more. I don't think that's more of like his character is just being like there's a facade behind there. I think it's more like maybe there's too many parallels to like characters like Kuja that we'd easily pick that up, and so the 14 team's going to write him as
they want to subvert it.
Yeah, they want to subvert our expectations on that.
Yeah,
I mean, I find their writing to be subtle enough that they wouldn't need to make things like this.
Yeah,
this obvious. I mean, there are characters like that. I mean, we have a literal Gabranthe, just out and about walking around in full Gabranthe armor, which is wild to me.
No, he's dead. Absolutely, he's dead.
Well,
he's gonna be dead before 6.0.
Probably.
I'm sorry, you're right. But as far as we know now, he's just out and about in Evil East doing Gabranthe things. Like when they do like the very obvious in your face stuff, it seems like mostly just as like good humor. Like go fight Kefka. Have a go at Eden. There's a good Branth. But then I guess there's also cases of Ramza and bloody hell, what was her name?
Alma.
What's her sister's name? Alma. Thank you.
Mm.
Yeah, well, they weren't
Where
actually
it's
them not
slightly more
actually
subtle.
being. Yeah.
But I don't think they can do something like that with. I think the Ascians have been pretty good at being their own thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like
They've
everyone
evolved
made
from-
The thing
the
about Fandaniel, though, isn't it? They were their own thing, but Fandaniel has his own agenda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Fandaniel was just never. He was never like tempered, so he never had the.
Well, we don't know.
Well,
He's probably not, but we don't know.
Yeah.
And the thing is, even if he is, all the tempering seems to like obligate him to do is try and bring about the resurrection of Zodiac,
Yeah.
Mm.
right?
which is his
And the
goal
thing is-
anyway.
Yeah, and for the other Ascians, the resurrection of Zodiac was a means to an end, to bring back Amarot. But like I say, with Fandaniel, it doesn't have to be, right? He can still have his own motivations, and once that is fulfilled, well, again, he has the power to rewrite the laws
I
of
think he's working
existence,
on
whatever the heck he wants.
technicalities. Yeah, I think he's working on technicalities. He technically will be summoning Zodiac for Xenos to take over, but then
Yeah.
after that, what happens?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I said, I don't like. I don't think Fandango like survives like 3/4 of the expansion.
I really hope not. I was hoping he wouldn't survive 2.6.0, but
Yeah.
but
I
here
didn't
we
like
are.
it when I didn't like
Well,
it when
that's
they
it.
brought him
They-
into the story.
They said they were going to completely finish in 6.0. So do you think
Mm-hmm.
they will survive after that, or will they be done with
No, they'll be
straight
done.
up?
No, it'll be
Yeah,
done.
okay.
Yeah, Fandaniel and
Yeah.
Xenos will both be dead in
Yeah.
6.0.
And
Yeah,
then
characters like this,
and Heidelin and
have to
Zodiac will
die.
be dead.
Probably.
Yeah.
like these aren't characters like Van Belsar, who was like a military problem, but honestly, in the grand scheme of things, whatever.
So
These are world-ending issues.
so if we get rid of Heidelin and Zodiac, like if Heidelin and Zodiac just like actually go away, all right?
Hmm.
Does that like in that like sense of purpose actually make a rejoining happen?
No.
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 What's done is done, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's not going to like reverse anything. It's not like Heidelin's existence is what is perpetuating the sundering. It's a thing that she did. It's not a
Yeah.
thing that she is doing. So no, I mean all we can say for certain is that, well, if we destroy Zodiac, then Heidelin's got to go, and vice versa. Otherwise, things are like dramatically out of whack, right?
Yeah.
The idea has been kind of thrown around somewhere that a subversion may be that, well, if Zodiac has the power to, rewrite the star and make everything better again, and Xenos' plan is to take the power of Heidelin and Zodiac, for each of us, and to have them kind of, like fuel us to fight against one another. Hey, maybe we're on the moon because we want the one that can do the rewriting. Maybe they're going to subvert it insofar as like, well, actually, we're going to bring back Zodiac because we're going to have to fix the planet.
Oh yeah, maybe.
And
That'd
the
be
only
good.
the only problem with that is obviously that to summon Zodiac they had to sacrifice like half of all
yeah.
life basically, and we're not going to do that. But
Yeah.
we got another power source.
Heidelin.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we
Yeah,
sacrifice
Heidelin.
Heidelin. We sacrifice Heidelin to summon Zodiac, and we tell Zodiac to go fuck off.
Yeah, I mean, who
A bit more
who knows?
aggressively than that, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
Like, we're obviously on the moon because we've learned that is like literally where Zodiac is, and we're trying to investigate. We're trying to find something out again. These trailers are very rarely like one-to-one completely
Correct.
literal. But I don't mind the idea of us being like, okay, final days. It's just like, for the Ascians, it was a sort of Kobayashi Maru, right?
Yeah.
Is that they had to summon Zodiac because there was absolutely nothing that they could do.
Yeah.
Whereas the whole point of like our storyline is that we rise above that and we're like, hey, actually we're not going to play that game. We are going to find another way. We're going to change the rules. That's what Shadowbringers is all about.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's going to be like the main kind of plot of Endwalker, is us being like, you know what, heck that, like, you ancients, you might not have been able to deal with these terminus beasts, but like we can, and we're going to do that. We're going to go and take out these towers and sort of try and do that work. And you know, maybe that fails and maybe we end up on the moon and maybe we realize that we do have to like lean into it. But again, if we know Daniel wants to take the power of Zodiac to rewrite existence, how do we deny him that?
What if? And I have a couple of thoughts. First of all, I have no idea how they're going to do this in perhaps 2 patches, in the 5.5 and the 6.0. I don't know. I don't know how this all gets done this quickly. That's amazing. But 2, what if, and hear me out, because I know it's just a picture, and pictures never have anyone in them anyway. What if there's no one in Golemold? What if the sacrifice has already happened?
Yeah, I mean that's something we have to entertain as well. Is like the purpose of the tower might not just be to summon these terminus beasts, but to, you know,
or well, at least for the
take fuel.
At least for the Garlemald Tower, that is, because the Garlemald Tower seems to be a lot bigger. Seems to be a lot bigger than the.
It is, yes.
Exactly. And the reason I've thought about this because I've been playing Devil May Cry. And I was thinking, this reminds me a lot of the Clifford tree. What if that Garlemald Tower isn't like the ones in the rest of Eorzea? What if that's the one that's sucking up all the souls of the dead that are being made and is fueling the resurrection?
You say that as well, and if you look at the the artwork, there is a lot of like mask-like faces embedded in all the like curvatures and pillars. Ugh, that's creepy.
Yeah.
Sure is.
So
yeah, I think that's an interesting idea. Like, what if the sacrifices are already being made here?
Oh
like we are going to find out, and we're going to be playing the most intense game of catch up, and that might be what forces us to do things we otherwise wouldn't want to do. Because I think the concept of us having the chance to parallel the ancients and say no would be great if we had an entire expansion. The fact that it's going to be 2 patches, almost certainly the whole thing's going to be wrapped in 5.5 and then boom, 6.0 we're done. That tells me something has to happen very quickly.
Well,
maybe not
5.5 and 5.55, and then 6.0.
And that's going to be big.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, we already know that we're like next patch we're probably going to be dealing with Lunar Ifrit. We're going to Pagothan. It's going to be a dungeon. They were talking about that in the live letter. We learned at the end of patch 5.4 that, like, ironically, Amal Jar are being kidnapped by people right now.
Oh, I think you mentioned that you'll see Luna, like, Ifrit, right? That's what you mentioned.
Yeah. I think that's where it's going. So I think we're going to start doing the work of dealing with these terminus beasts and these towers in 5.5. So things are going to accelerate very quickly. And I don't think there's going to be, like, a whole bunch of major plot beats, honestly, in 6.0. I think it's going to be pretty, like, straightforward.
Yeah.
But there is going to be some kind of big spicy subversion there in, you know, the final moments.
Yeah. So after that, there's Garlemald burning, and I literally think, like, this is pretty much the reason. Like I would agree. Like, I think Garlemald's pretty much been sacrificed in this sense.
I don't think they want to have to worry about us asking to play as playable Garleans. We're just avoiding that whole act.
You see, I really wasn't thinking like that they had been sacrificed. I think that's a good catch. My like initial reaction was, well, obviously a united Garlemald is the only thing that could possibly hope to stand against whatever Daniel's trying to do here, and he just had to, take them out of the equation and make sure that like no meaningful resistance from them was possible. But there's no reason why it can't be both.
Yeah.
¿Por qué no
I think
las
it was in
dos?
the monk's story quest, the job quest. There was something about like battlefield residual ether
Yep.
that is like sticks to things or can be absorbed into certain things.
Yeah. I mean, that's a huge part of Bodger as well. We're literally like going around collecting the memories of the dead and dying to fuel our weapon.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's a kind of scientific.
Yeah.
All right, moving on then.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Moon. I think we already did our locations.
So like the next and last thing we see is us on the moon. We're a shiny paladin. We don't actually see anything too like. We don't like. There's like it just looks like the moon. There's no like.
Yeah, we don't see any of the structures or anything.
Yeah. And then it's Endwalker with the giant Dorito.
Well, let's be real here. The reason we don't see any structures is because it's going to have to be the lunar subterranean.
Yeah. So
it's not going to be on the moon. Well, though, Ethys pointed out, there are ruins on top of the moon.
So my question is, like, I don't think this is a tower. I think this is like a ship.
It's got a little rocket at the end going.
Yeah, I think this is a ship going to the moon.
Going what?
Going.
Okay, just to be sure.
I'd like to take a ground sample of that solid.
My question is it just like artistic style, which the reason being like the moon looks like this, or
it's never just artistic, is it?
Yeah, I was like, because if you watch the trailer, there is a burst of orangey. It looks like an explosion. And just the way it's drawn, you can see like the perspective going into a crater-like thing.
Yeah.
The moon's a giant egg, confirmed. Something's going to break out of it.
Yeah.
And it's going to be Zodiac.
No.
Zodiac's going to poke out of this big old hole right here.
The tiny but giant fish, like void fish boy is going to pop out.
And then,
we don't know what Zodiac looks like, right? Except for in 12. So
well, I mean, we have the Amano artwork that they showed off.
Well, I don't think that's going to be representative.
I don't think that's going to be literal. No.
Yeah. Fall 2021, which is pretty much what I expected. I'm going to go ahead and say probably early October, but maybe a late December. Or not in a late December, late September.
December.
I'm guessing October.
Yeah, I'm guessing October. And yeah. We got any bets? Because they're gonna do the beta. I mean, not the beta, but like the 2 weeks of or the week of early access.
What browser tab you're showing me?
No, I'm not showing any more browser tabs anymore. Stop streaming. All right. So are we betting? We can do some bets if it's supposed to be. Say we're saying October, right? Maybe October 1st is a Friday. They usually launch it on Fridays, or like they usually do the early access starts on Fridays.
Yeah, the early access goes over the weekend and they launch during the week.
All right, October 1st sounds good. I'd be into that.
Oh god, yes, like the beginning of fall instead of like.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Halfway through it would be wonderful.
Yeah, like early access starts Friday, and then like the game actually comes out on the 5th.
Ooh, that'd be spicy.
Yeah, it'd be great. What's next? We've got
new jobs.
We
talked about Sage, but again, this is going back to the trailer a little bit. We saw Yoshida with one of the shots was Children of Bodom with their like artwork of a Grim Reaper like figure holding a scythe, and the other one was also like a Grim Reaper looking thing. A lot of people are going like, "Hey, Necro, there it is. There's Necromancer."
He has said
I'm saying Grim.
Out
I'm
and
saying a
out.
Reaper. I'm saying a Reaper type of job.
Yeah. But not
Yeah.
Necro, because
Necro.
you know Xeno he got a scythe there. He's got a
Yeah.
heckin' scythe on his
Does he?
next to his chair there. Yeah, have a look at the
Does he?
trailer. You can you can't
Ooh.
like it's not like 100% self-evident, but if you look at the shot of his chair from behind, you see a weapon like leaning up there, and there's not many other things it could be than a scythe.
All right. I need to
Interesting.
go
So-
back. I need to go back.
And
Yeah.
and Xenos don't play no pet class. He don't.
No.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
don't
So
pay-
you're posting this image. This
No, he
is
doesn't.
my
Yes,
guess.
yeah,
this
this
is
is
my
it.
guess. Ranjit here. So
Well, this
I my guess was Ranjit simply
Yeah.
because it was such a nice teaser of a job that we don't freaking have, and everyone was asking, "What is he? What is he? What is he? What is he?" Because at first, when you see him, he's very
Yeah.
much like a monk.
yeah.
But he has this like pet floating around him, and we just assume it's a story thing. But then he changes costume, and one of the weapons he holds is a scythe-like weapon.
Yeah.
He like
Um,
merges
Well,
with this
I
thing.
think you're right.
Yeah,
here.
you see it. You're
Right
looking
here.
at it
Right
there.
here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's it. It's a heckin' scythe.
yeah.
Yeah, Ranjit's an interesting one. First of all, like, it's not Necro because, like I say, Xenos, you don't play no pet class. He ain't about that.
Yeah.
But
It's hands on.
the interesting thing with Ranjit is that when people look at Ranjit initially, they were like, oh, it's like Beastmaster, right? Some kind of Beastmaster. He's like tamed a dragon. That's not actually what's happening. The dragon is like it's like a blood eggy. It's an arcane entity that has been made partially out of his own blood, but it's an extension of him, and he can either project it out as a pet, or he can use it. He can like merge with it, and that's what forms the scythe and his fancy little outfit and kind of all that. So he has like those two distinct forms, and it's called, for him, it's called Gukumats.
Yeah.
Is the name of his one, and it's really cool. It is really, really cool. But I don't know if I see that being a thing for us either. Just because having a dragon pet,
I think people just want to avoid pets again.
yeah.
The
And also,
dragon was
I just don't know
rough.
if I really see that with Xenos.
The dragon was rough in 11, and the Eggies have actually been notoriously difficult to deal with all throughout 14. So moving away from pets is probably a solid choice.
I guess I understand why that puts the shiver down your spine. But also, my other argument was it's a melee DPS. It was confirmed to be that as well.
Yes.
And Ranjit was certainly very much in your face a lot of the time as well.
Yes. Yeah. When Ranjit is using his pet, he's a monk, and when he's got this, he's I think the scythe job, it's going to use a lot of the same animations that we saw from Ranjit in this form.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have seen other scythe wielders in 14, though. Obviously we've got Edda, we've got Fadiad, a few other like void sent enemies, but yeah, I think this is a good catch with Ranjit. I think we're going to see a lot of these animations.
Yeah, I agree. Another thing was like, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. No. I was just being stupid.
Another thing before I even thought about Xenos being like the other job that we were getting, was his first shirt had the name of a Sex Pistols documentary.
Yes, it did. Yeah.
The Filth and the Fury. All right.
Yeah.
And then he wore another
Sam Raimi thing with it one day.
Yeah, and then he wore another like band shirt. All right.
Yeah.
So like maybe the connection was like the connection wasn't actually the scythe or like the Reaper, but maybe it was connection that like he's actually saying it's like a band type, like not like a band type job, but like like
two.
No. What I was saying was like the connection of the shirts is that there's a reference to a band on there, right? And I was like, well, what's a melee job that uses a pistol as well? It could be Corsair. But then I was thinking,
no.
then I was thinking when like people were like, okay, well, Xenos is going to be the other job, and I was like, okay, well, Xenos ain't going to be no Corsair, all right?
No, yeah, you can't be.
And then I got a
The thing-
theory,
Yes, please.
and my theory was
Uh-huh.
is that if it's like not a necromancer, but like a job that's maybe like kind of akin to necromancer because he's using a scythe and everything.
Yeah.
The final thing that happens in 6.0 is going to be that Xenos Kaiju Zodiarch Kaiju's Zodiarch, all right, become like just rides them like a Gundam, all right,
Yeah, that's what we're expecting.
and renames himself Necron.
Yeah, okay.
So
Fine.
in true Final Fantasy fashion,
Was that
I hate it.
nowhere?
I
Like,
hate
who
it.
the hell-
I hate when they do this. Like Necron and what was the other one? Ultron? No, not Ultron. Necron and what's the one in 9?
Necron was the one in 9.
Necron was
Yes,
the one in 9. So which
Necron
one
was
was
the
the
one in
one
9.
in?
Yeah.
There's another one that comes pretty much out of nowhere and very similar. I hate it. I hate it so much. Don't do that.
It's a bad
Please
trope.
don't.
It's
bad trope.
it's the freaking tick from Final Fantasy X. I hated that so
Yeah.
much.
Oh,
See,
yeah.
like you, Yevon.
Yeah,
You,
yeah,
Yevon
yeah,
was pretty
yeah.
awful.
It's such a
good,
bad
and then
trope.
What the fuck is this?
But
Yeah.
what makes that one worse is that it comes directly after Jet, which is so good.
Yeah.
But it's on brand for Final Fantasy.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah,
not on
yeah.
brand for good writing.
Not on brand for Ishikawa.
Oh, yeah, it's not on
Exactly.
brand for Ichikawa. No, it's not.
Well, I mean, that's not true because, like, Emmett Talk's like, yes, I was Hades all along. And
Yeah,
everyone's
true.
like, well, that doesn't mean
Mean anything.
anything. That's a better way to do it. And that's kind of more what you're suggesting with Xenos. Is like, it's still Xenos. It's just like,
Yeah.
we're
It's just
also
a
going to
new
give you a
name,
little,
yeah.
like, bit of fan service at
It's
the
still
same time.
it's still Zenodiarch.
Yeah.
It's a Zodiarch, yeah. I am really curious where he gets his new weapon though, because he specifically breaks it, his old sword.
Yeah, the
And that was
Amano Habakiri.
yeah, that was gifted to him because was it from the what they called
The Kojian.
the
Yeah.
Kojin,
Yeah,
yes.
Yotsu gave it to him.
That's right. Where
It's
does
one of
he
their
get his
holy
new
relics.
weapon? Oh,
So here's the
right.
thing: I don't think it needs to be any great backstory.
Nah.
Xenos very much.
Picks up a scythe. Yeah, I know how to do this. All right, let's go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a botanist.
I mean, not to make light of it, but Xenos really is like the type of person where whatever he gets his hands on is now one of the most dangerous implements in the room.
Yeah.
He's
Wouldn't use
he's
that in
very
his
capable.
golf club bag though, because that's spinny. That would stop his leg.
Yeah, I mean, when he first picked up the katana in Doma, like, he'd never used it before. But he was like, this seems neat.
I am a
True, yeah.
weeb now. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, and it makes sense. He's a big, strong lad. He picks up this very light, sharp sword. It's like, yeah, no, I can make this work. So long as
Yeah.
it doesn't break, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Spoilers: the way he loses all of his swords is it breaks because he's too damn strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not confirmed. We know that it's mainly DPS. It's not confirmed as a scythe wielder, but we're all on the same page there, right? It's going to be a scythe wielder, and it's not going to be like summoning undead kind of necromantics.
No.
Yeah.
Nonsense.
I mean,
he's going to come out with a hammer.
See, I would love that, honestly. I would love them to really come down to the line with the, Hammer of Darkness brought to bear upon the Shield of Light with
Yep.
Warrior of
Yeah,
Light's
yeah,
Paladin.
yeah.
Damn
Like,
right.
that'd be great. But
Yeah. That would
No,
kind of
but I
like
think you're right.
that
No.
would create a parallel with the guy as well, because she literally
yeah,
had
exactly.
a hammer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
That'd be nice.
it's obvious that in this like little screen right here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's either a scythe or it's an electric guitar. He's gonna do like Devil May Cry 3.
telling you,
Oh, wait,
I
it's a
keep
band.
saying-
It's the band thing. The band
Yeah.
thing.
I keep
Yeah.
telling you
Yeah.
all,
Yeah.
Bard 2 is going to happen. They're going to rename Bard as Ranger, as it always should have been.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, Xenos is going to come out whipping around Nevin. It's going to be grand. He's sitting on top of the Clipath, whatever the fuck that thing is called.
Mm.
Yeah, no, this is just they stole the guy who worked on Devil May Cry from Capcom anyway. This is all
Hell
leading
yeah.
to the Devil May Cry crossover that no one
Yeah,
knew they wanted.
No, I'll go on better. It isn't really better. But didn't they have like a musical class in Final Fantasy X too? The girls had like
Songstress.
One Day
Songstress,
All.
yeah.
songstress. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's already got the hair for it, right?
Xeno's gonna be a songstress.
No, we're gonna be fighting Zenodiarch, right? And then you're just gonna see cracks in the in like the space
Oh.
around us or whatever,
Uh-huh.
and then like 5 seconds later, you're just gonna see Dante and Virgil bust right through and they're fighting or whatever. And see Zenodiarch and they're just like, okay, well, whatever. They just team up with us
We're
and
all
fight
fools.
him.
We're all fools. I can't believe I hadn't seen it before. The final boss of Final Fantasy XIV 6.0
Yes.
is Soken.
Oh man. Yeah.
But no. I mean, regardless of what it is, and yes, it does very much look like it's a long, thin thing leaning up against his throne. It's going to be interesting. I don't know. I've gotten all the classes I want, so at this point, anything extra is just nice.
Mm-hmm. Next we have they showed off some locations.
What's that you have written next to it? I can't read it.
Moon. We're all
Sorry, I
Naruto.
just got a bunch of static there. I just you kind of
Yeah,
broke
it's
up
bizarre.
a little bit. Yeah,
We're going
strange.
to the moon. Anyway, and the moon aside, we got confirmation that we're going to Thavnair.
Which somehow is way more exciting. It
Yeah,
is to me.
it's way
Yeah.
more exciting. Hell yeah!
He's like, of course it's way
Beautiful
more
as well.
exciting. It's not the moon.
Yeah.
That's great.
Like the moon is like going to be nice for like a gigantic set piece, but like we've been waiting for this since 14. Period. Full stop.
Yeah.
It's been consistently brought up. It's very important. We passed it twice.
We did pass it twice.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
yes.
nice. It's going to be nice to actually stop and have a cheeky chat with the Thavnairans.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that. I mean, I'm going to be doing like a whole very long video on Thavnair. There's a lot. We know a lot more about Thavnair than people seem to realize.
Mhm.
It's
we
gonna
know
be exciting to
an
finally get there.
extreme amount of we know extreme amount of stuff with Thavnair. Just
Yep.
we just never thought, oh, maybe we should pay him a visit as we're on our way to Othard. We're floating by him anyway. Instead, no, we had to split up Stormblood between Girabanya and Othard. Feels bad,
I
man.
understand that. I mean, the reason we're going to be going there is almost definitely because like a tower's appeared there.
Oh,
right?
yeah,
And that's
yeah.
going to be kind of the driving motivation for most of the plot here for us, right?
Yeah, parts of it's going to be on fire. That's what that whole
Mhm.
dungeon, that one dungeon's like on fire, or whatever, because determines.
Is there a star shower going on? Because I know the image you're talking about. Was there a star shower happening during that dungeon? Like not a real star shower, obviously, but you know.
Was there like drawings of like a star shower maybe happening, or like was it?
No,
like,
no. If you look at the image of the Thavnairan dungeon,
Yep.
with the giant two-headed statue on it, and
Yep.
you look towards the stars, you see very clearly falling
Yeah.
stars, and it's burning in the background. So yeah, I think that there's absolutely a tower there.
Yeah.
People are starting to come to. Beasts are flying everywhere, and we're going to go off to have a fight see with the light.
There it is.
You know, a big bad.
So I think I don't know if any of you agree with this, but do you think that throughout pretty much most of this expansion we're going to be seeing like star showers in the sky no matter where we're at?
Yeah, I don't know about that, honestly, because
Because, you know, like at the end of 1.0, of the whole like original Final Fantasy 14, there was the whole like Dalamud in the sky thing. Maybe they want, just as a set piece finale send off, they might want to do something with the skybox, just to
Yeah.
press upon the fact that this is the end. We'll see. I don't know.
I'm more thinking about it because, like, if it is a star shower, then we're going to get a bunch of people awakening to the echo, right?
Just so.
Yeah.
And if Fan Daniel like wants to do that, if that's part of his plan, then yeah, for sure. But his final days is going to be replicating the effects of the old final days, but it's not going to be the same cause. So I wouldn't necessarily assume that we're going to see that same sort of star shower. But like the world's on fire. So
Quite literally.
yeah,
Yes,
so
yeah.
we're gonna see that at least.
Other place they showed a couple places for like that. They showed Razat Han, which looks like a giant, like not like a giant, but like a big enough city that's like on the top of like a very 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 skinny looking well, not skinny, but
So
like
pretty. It really does.
it's on top of like a plateau
Mhm.
that's like not surrounded by anything.
There's some really really nice like hints of like South Asia type because like the new Beast Tribe race had like one of them was wearing a sari,
Yep.
and then the other ones remind me of that kind of uh like India and
Yeah.
you know
Yeah, the Thavnair has like a lot of Persian influence
yeah
in its lore, and
yeah
then a sort of interesting kind of mixture of like you say, like Indian, Pakistani, Sri Lankan kind of stuff.
yeah Sri Lanka as well yeah.
Yeah. But it's the idea of it is that it's this sort of like equatorial melting pot where
Mhm.
Othard, Ilzabad, and Eorzea are all sort of like all of their trade routes are flowing through Thavnair, and they've been flowing through Thavnair for like much longer than they've been flowing through anywhere else. Like Thavnair, we're told, is thousands of years old. Like Radzat Han, I should say, is thousands of years old. So as a city state, it has survived at least the sixth umbral calamity. So their culture is going to be contemporary with like Amdapor and Mark and Ivalice, right?
Oh, it's gonna be so weird to see it.
Yeah.
See, like a civilization that old actually be alive and thriving.
Well, you know how they survived the flood. I mean, they're up so high, man.
Yeah, you can see that.
Yeah.
But
Good
yeah,
point.
no. On the topic of Razad Hans itself, it does look like Ralga's Reach only actually perched in the mountains, like properly like on top of a giant bloody mesa.
Yeah. Another, I guess, fun bit of trivia. Like, I'm not gonna talk about Thavnair and Radzat Han for the next 4 hours, although I easily could. The big crystal in the background there, that would be Giant's Gall.
Oh.
I don't know if you guys remember the Giant's Gall weapons. I think they're like I-80. They, I don't remember what you were getting them from in ARR, but they're a relic from, not a literal relic, a remnant from 1.0. And basically it's this kind of stone substance that's like much harder than most metals. But yeah, that's like 1.0 lore that's being kind of seeded in there with that substance that we're seeing, which is unique to the island.
Yeah, the giant purple crystal.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Giant
I
Skull.
remember getting a couple of them way back when. I know that they're craftable by alchemists now.
Yes,
So-
I think so. They are so ugly, those weapons.
They are hideous. These giant purple and white
They're
monstrosities.
so ugly. Yes, they are now eye level 70 alchemist
okay.
craftables. So I think they were in 1.0. They weren't in 2.0, and then they might have been dropping from they might have been dropping from treasure chests. From
I
treasure
genuinely
maps.
couldn't tell you anymore.
I know there's
was it
Weapon
something we
coffer.
perhaps? Oh wait, was it one of the things we got from Rowena as like an
Yes.
in-between step?
Yes.
Yeah, way back in Moderna.
Reward for quest. It's possibly a primal.
Yeah, maybe. I genuinely do forget where they're from, but yeah, I did remember the weapons themselves, and I knew that they were craftable, but that's the extent of my knowledge on them. Alas, I could not play 1.0.
Alas,
they
you
would-
would not even want to
Yeah.
play 1.0.
That's not true. I genuinely wanted to. I still would have put myself through that if I had a computer that could have done it. I was very diligently waiting for that to come to PS4. And boy, oh boy, it never did. Or PS3 at the time.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's Thavnair. I don't know if you guys have any more like pressing questions about Thavnarian stuff. I've got like 5 pages of notes on Thavnair in front of me right now.
No,
So
we will
if you're
we,
curious,
we
I
will
think
we
the
will
correct-
wait until your video.
I think the correct thing to do
Suits
right now
me.
is we will absolutely point everyone in your direction.
Yeah.
If you have
Suits
any information on
me.
Daphne, oh boy, Ethboy's gonna have something for you.
Next location they showed was Garlemald, but it looked like it was already destroyed, so we're not going to see a nice, pristine-looking city when we go there. It's just going to be rubble.
Just want to see what happened to Maximo. What happened to him?
Oh,
Let
he
him be
dead.
He's
the
all right.
Oh, nah, he gonna
Yeah.
be dead. He gonna be dead.
No, Maxima's fine. Maxima's in Eorzea. He's fine. He wasn't there when this happened. He's the last surviving member of the Populares, and
yeah.
he's gonna be like whatever Garlemald is after all this. I think
Whatever's
Maxima
left.
is
He's gonna be
probably
advisor to
leading it.
Van Belsar. That's what he's gonna.
I don't think Gaius is gonna be leading it. I don't think Gaius has any interest in that
He
anymore. He's
wants
gonna
to,
finish.
yeah, no.
I don't think. Yeah, I think Gaius is going to finish his quest, and he's going to have some kind of noble sacrifice at the end. And
Oh no.
Do you? Because I feel like more.
he's
often
been
than
running
not-
away from death, and it's going to catch up to him.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
mean, that is fair.
that is Ishikawa's writing.
Yeah, I hadn't considered that. My thought was like, honestly, no one, not a single person, except for maybe Emmett Selk, and even then for a different reason, loved Garlemald the way Van Belsar loved Garlemald.
Yeah.
And I could see him, after everything is just absolutely destroyed,
Mhm.
being the one to put it together. And perhaps he doesn't want leadership, perhaps it's foisted on him.
Mm.
But yeah, he has been cheating a lot of death, so much death.
I think he does still have a big role to play for
Yeah.
Garlemald and getting him back on their feet. But
Certainly.
it'll be his last act, I think.
I can see that.
I mean, your punishment for wanting Gaius back so much throughout all
There's
these
a
years
price to pay.
I
was
know.
was us going to the moon. So maybe he doesn't die.
The monkey paw
Oh.
curls.
And then the speculated place we're going to go to is Charlene.
Certainly.
I mean, that's going to be 4 different areas in one expansion. That's going to be a little weird.
Are we just not going to talk about that giant dungeon that's in Garlemald that is...
Oh, that's obviously the Maga Sisters.
That's one of the towers. Yeah, we don't know if it's the one in Garlemald, but yeah, we do have some shots of one of the towers, and that's definitely the. Yeah,
That's
I
a
think
good
it's the
call.
Mega Sisters, yeah.
I assumed it was... So wait, hold on. Has that been confirmed? Was I fucking right? Did I fucking call that?
What? That is the Maga
What, the
Sisters.
Yeah.
It's not confirmed,
It's
but
not
it's
confirmed.
so bloody
Not confirmed,
obvious.
but a lot
It
of
is
people.
so obvious.
There's
Yeah,
no
three
way it's not.
Like, 3 figures in a faith-like setting? I don't know. You tell me. But I hadn't considered that could be a tower anywhere, and we know that they are going to be everywhere. So fair play.
No, that could be. Yeah, that could be the.
We could literally run
Nim
into
Tower.
that immediately. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that could be the Nim
Yeah.
Tower. Yeah.
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 But I like the idea of having more Final Fantasy X influence and them kind of seeding in the faiths as terminus beasts.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
It's gonna be so
Concepts
that's
of
good.
quite
faith go
compelling.
rad.
I would like that idea, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to fight Anima so much and die to her. So bad.
I'd love another Keening just to be like a Song of the Faith. I mean, like a very similar situation to the end of 1.0 when like Answers played as Dalamud Fell. Except that wasn't, I don't think that was diegetic. I don't think that was just you were actually hearing that.
No,
as
I think they
a
were just playing
player
that
character.
playing that for atmosphere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it certainly sounded diegetic, but I think you're right.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of rough.
Well, I mean, actually, okay. Well, then we'll get to the lore behind Answers. Answers is actually supposed to be sung by Heidelin, so I mean that technically could have been Heidelin singing to all of her people, like during
We do have
actually
the
those
echo, I
times.
guess. Why
Yeah.
not?
So yeah, that actually makes sense. So yeah, that's 100% got to be the Maga Sisters, and the more 10 that they throw in here, the more I'm thinking. I'm thinking that Xenos is maybe a little bit of a Seymour.
except better in every conceivable way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like 10. Seymour is not one of those reasons, though.
We only say that because technically Xenos is dead.
Yeah,
get, like,
fair
what
enough.
was Seymour's goals? What did he want to
Seymour
do?
was a nihilist.
Yeah.
Seymour
Right,
was going
so
to
is
free everyone through death. Oh, I see.
Fan Daniel is more maybe that kind of thing. I wouldn't
Well-
say that's Xenos really. If
Ze-
everyone is
yeah.
exclusive.
What's the
Xenos is just a fighty boy.
Yeah. Was he?
Let's not give this man too much
Xenos,
stuff.
yeah, Xenos
Yep.
is just fighting away. He wants to fight
Yeah.
his best friend.
Yep.
And yeah, and like I said, we're expecting Charlene. I'm pretty sure once you get there, you're just probably going to stop doing the story at this. You're just going to sit there and take pictures of every pixel.
Oh god, I'm going to have to carve out so much time to find. When do you stream again now, Ethys? So I can like figure out when I'm just not going to have
It's
time.
my
to do anything
evening
else.
times. So you
It's
Yeah.
It's our
Oh,
mornings.
It's like,
I'm gonna be
it's still in the
asleep. No.
afternoon for me.
yeah.
Bollocks, well, I'm going to have to catch some of those files. I'll be very
you might
interested
be
in
able
hearing
to,
your
like,
immediate
when you
thoughts.
wake up, you might catch the back end of it.
Now all my
Yeah.
classes happen in the morning and into mid-afternoon my time, so
I'll be highlighting everything for MSQ stuff and editing it onto
Glorious.
YouTube anyway. So
So
yes.
hopefully we'll go there and see the parents and
mm-hmm.
learn everything. So next they talked about raids, and this one was like actually kind of left field because we never thought we'd ever see La Habrea ever again.
Still not sure we will.
Yeah.
No, we're gonna we're gonna see Mateus probably because that's who that's La Habrea's like
That's his scion.
yeah, that's his scion counterpart. So he's probably going to be like one of the, I guess, lords of Pandemonium. Do we just think this is going to be like a fucking battle against pretty much all the scions, or not all the scions, but like all the Asians?
No, I think
no.
that's just clever salesman tactics right now.
What do you think? I mean, because Pandemonium's been in what? How many Final Fantasies? It's like
At least 2.
I think 2 and 9.
Yeah.
Those are the only two I'm aware of.
Yeah,
Those are the only 2 that I'm aware of off the top
And
of my head.
and it's hell, right?
Yeah, it's the lowest level of hell.
Yeah.
In Paradise Lost. I really think that Pandemonium is going to be kind of like a Dante's Inferno for us. It's like going to be us like descending through the layers of the 7 hells.
Face your past.
Yeah, and the difference between La Habrea and his fellow Unsundered Asians is that he was a heckin' sadist.
Yeah.
Like Emmett Selk is so like borderline like contemptuous towards him that after the 7th Umbral Calamity, La Habrea just keeps going. He's just laboring to prolong that Umbral era for absolutely no reason, as far as Emmett Selk can tell. Like all the stuff with Ultima and all that, he's like, why are you doing that? You're just doing that because you hate these people. At this point, like there's no like pragmatism here whatsoever, and I can't help but wonder if like, you know, in recreating the structure of the world, if La Habrea didn't actually like create hell, because La Habrea programmed Zodiac. La Habrea designed and programmed Zodiac.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just can't help but wonder. Like, there's so many things that in Final Fantasy XIV's lore we thought was just like mythology and superstition that has actually turned out to be like real things and real places. You know, like the 12 most recently is like we're pretty certain that they're just the followers of Vanar now, and we've got this idea of the 7 hells and the 7 heavens, and you know the things that sort of happen in those, and we thought that was, you know, like Eorzean mythology, but shit, maybe Maybe it's literal. Maybe they're real, and maybe they were created by La Habrea.
Damn.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you snap like a twig and are
Yeah.
still a genius. You do things like this.
Yeah. So I think that, yeah, I don't know. It's either that or it's some kind of, moon dungeon.
Moon.
It's a
oh,
moon. It's a
yes.
moon vault. I mean, that's possible as well. It could be like a moon vault, or a vault or a dungeon somewhere with all of these. We know La Habrea designed like Ifrita, and he was obsessed with fire and created all these terrible like monsters and weapons and like all the nastiest, most awful things that came out of Amarot were created by La Habrea, and maybe he's just got like a big vault, a big dungeon somewhere where he's got them all locked up.
We have to take care
just
of
as
them.
simple as that. Yeah, might be as simple
It's
as that.
just been Hojo this whole time.
Like how we needed to take
Yeah.
care of good old Tycoon in the twinning.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I can hear it.
Who knows? They say they're wrapping up. They say they're wrapping up the MSQ with 6.0, but maybe Zodiac is attached to this in the same way that Eden was attached to Eden, right? Like Eden was originally going to be the final boss of 5.0, and then they're like, well, we'll just like give it its own little like side piece over here.
True.
And
I'd much rather like a hardcore fight against Zodiac.
Yeah. I mean, it might be that like in 6.0 we resolve the action, right? We deal with Fan Daniel and Xenos and all that, but maybe there's still like Zodiac remains, and he's kind of good for the moment. Like he's not, the world's not ending for the moment, but someone's gonna have to deal with that eventually, and maybe that's what Pandemonium is about.
Fair play. Hadn't considered that.
Maybe. Maybe.
Even more interesting to me at the moment is the 24-man, because I was expecting that would be going back to the first, but Koji says it's going to be dealing with an Eorzean mystery, like a long-standing Eorzean mystery. I think that's basically the words to that effect. Yeah.
Huh.
So this is where a lot of people's been speculating that might be the presence under Silver Tier type of raid, which
Yeah. People
would be a little unfortunate. Which is like a little unfortunate because I would much rather that be in like an MSQ type thing instead of a like a side piece of contact.
Yeah. So he literally said Eorzean lore steeped in mystery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to be dealing with a piece of Eorzean lore steeped in mystery. And there's a few, outstanding mysteries in Eorzean, but I think the most popular one at the moment is probably Silver Tier. I mean, we've also got, like, when Gaius first, like, before the Battle of Silver Tier, when Gaius first invaded Eorzea, they faced a primal that, like, beat the shit out of them, and they were forced to retreat. And we have no idea what that primal was.
That is true, yeah.
Yeah. We have
True.
absolutely no idea.
There's also that weird ship in near Raglar's Reach. You know,
Yeah.
we go into.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's the
Neon
encryption
Krebs
ship.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's not so much of a mystery as it is like something that I hope we go back to and learn why it's still there.
Yes. Goodness, yes.
To me, a dungeon.
There's so many things that it could be, but for me the exciting bit is that like Koji, he didn't stutter. He said Eorzean, He didn't say the source. He didn't say Heidelin.
Yeah.
He said Eorzean specifically.
We will see.
Yes.
You've got this whole. You and Moose have this whole like list of Eorzean like mysteries, and you're like,
yeah.
you're like
our wish list.
Right.
Yeah.
So after that, they talked about some system updates. Everything most of the stuff that we had like either expected or knew was going to come. They're downscaling values for everything. And that happens in pretty much every MMO that gets as long as we have. WoW's done it like 4 or 5 times already.
Numbers just too big. Like, when numbers get that big, it causes issues with, like, literally the calculations, and then bugs happen, and it becomes a crapshoot to whether things work or not. This was a necessary evil.
Yeah.
I am surprised that they felt the need to say, like, repeatedly, look, the numbers are getting smaller. You're not getting weaker. Well, that's not
See,
what's happening.
you're surprised? I'm not.
No, I'm not surprised. People are dumb.
Yeah.
People are
Like,
dumb.
sure, but oh boy.
Yeah.
Like
There
when
are people are very obsessed with their numbers, and
Yeah.
then they'll not really pay attention to what has gone on, and they'll say, Why are you only doing blah 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 K? You should be doing higher." Like, no, I physically cannot.
Yeah. No, people when they see downscaling values, they're immediately going to think, well, we're immediately weaker. They're not going to like, this is going to suck. Where's my 40,000 hit?
Yeah.
Where's
People
my
are immediately uploading as many flogs as they can because they're never
Yeah.
going to be higher than in
Oh, this,
5.5.
this is true.
That's right.
So I'm not surprised he had the need to say this. What I am surprised is they're removing belts.
No.
Why are you surprised?
I said this like 2 expansions ago. Belts are fucking pointless, and they are literally a bother when leveling. Not leveling, when gearing up at the end.
So I'm not surprised that they're removing it. I'm surprised that like they're gonna take the time to remove an item from the game entire, like a piece of gear from the game entirely in general. It feels like one of those things. Well, we're gonna do this to this one, and then they just look at the accessories and they're like, okay, well, which accessories do we actually not need? I don't particularly agree that because some people were like speculating like maybe next time down the road they're going to just compile the rings into one ring.
Maybe.
But they're going to increase. They're going to increase.
Have you seen Yoshida's hands?
Okay.
I'm not going to do that.
Leak
He's
said
gonna give us
that.
more rings.
Like you're asking the man with essentially a punchy fistful of rings.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. What I'm saying is like they won't remove there being like 2 rings like physically on you or whatever. But they'll just combine it into like your ring accessory is actually 2 rings, but it's compiled into one, and the attributes are increased.
No, because they've already said that the real reason that they didn't do it this time was because of fashion. They literally came out and just said that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I didn't say they would remove like the one ring off of you like physically. I'm saying the item is 2 rings, but it's one item.
Yoshida said he wanted people to be able to like mix and match.
Exactly,
like,
but it would have to be the same ring twice.
Yes.
Why don't they do that for earrings?
But look, we never had an option, so there's nothing to take away.
Yeah.
When I said that I was surprised they did, or I wasn't surprised because I also believed that if they get rid of belts, they also need to get rid of rings. I didn't say this out of like any like malicious leveling thing this way. It's just a case of, I mean, it's always going to be the same 2 rings. You're always going to take the best ring and the second best ring and nothing else. It just felt kind of pointless.
So you know what this? You know what
You
this
can
also?
glamour those rings, though. You can glamour the rings, and you can see
Yes.
them.
Yeah.
Yes.
With a belt, you don't see the belt.
This is the biggest truth. This was made for fashion, and like belts have never been seen, so off they go.
So you know what this also kind of tells me? That even in 7.0, they're probably not going to update the, like the whole engine itself in general.
But my capes.
Because if they could have kept the belt in, and when they actually do a rework to the thing, they could have made it to where the belt is shown.
I've never thought that this game was ever going to be updated in a way that's going to make it like
They really should. They
more interesting to look at your character. I think we've reached peak interesting to look at our character.
No, but the thing is, I think they need to really get away from the 1.0 spaghetti code. Because the game is still based off of that.
Yeah, and they're doing that incrementally. That's the thing, right? And this is, a step towards that. The stat squish thing was kind of the most important because it was starting to cause bugs.
Yes.
I mean, to speak to this, like top of my wish list was character creator overhaul.
Yeah. There's still a chance for that. I mean, we still have May.
Yeah.
I think you all are so adorable with your optimism. I don't think that character creator is ever going to be touched. I think the
I
next time you are going to be able to create a character.
Well,
Vieira's.
yes.
God damn.
Viera and Hrothgar got a lot more options for basically every part of the character creator. So they don't need to overhaul it, but like just giving that same amount of customization to the other races would be really, really nice. Just more options, right?
Fair enough.
Not having
That
to
I
like
can see.
recode everything into like sliders and the way that affects gear and everything
Okay,
is obviously
then
like
now,
way too much.
now we're more reasonable. This I can
Yeah.
absolutely see.
We need a
Yeah.
heckin' beard.
Yeah, so that's what I want. But the stuff they're doing with the code at the moment is obviously like a much higher priority.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Absolutely.
yeah, they get that done, they tick that off, and then maybe 7.0 they can start to do stuff like this. But you're right, we still got FanFest, and it's quite possible that they speak to this at some point.
Please prove me wrong. Don't think you will, but go ahead. I won't be mad.
So data center visit system.
Yeah.
That's like, so what I was saying is that I think this is going to be strictly regional, because they didn't say. They didn't say. I don't think I'm going to be able to take my ass from Midgardsormr and go all the way to Tomberry like easily.
I think that if it was going to be limited to region, they would have known that they had to say that like in the same breath as introducing it.
So,
No,
agree
they
with
said,
you.
but they said there will be more. There most likely will be more restrictions,
Yes.
and that
So
could
I
just
agree
be
with
them
you,
saying.
Ethys. But yeah, exactly. They did say something, and again, now to this point, there's March. Or May?
May.
May.
Yeah.
Wish it was March, then it'd be my birthday.
Yeah. The only reason why I say that is because they're already talking about how they don't exactly know how well it's going to be, how well this is like really going to be implemented. And I think it would just be a lot easier if it's purely regional based, because all of our servers, like the data centers are housed in the same place for each region.
Yeah.
So it's
Look,
not.
I really think that if they did not think that they were going to be able to make it like cross region, they probably would have said from the outset, like, hey, let's temper people's expectations and not kind of just say like, hey, it's probably only going to be within the region.
Yeah.
The fact they didn't say that, I don't know, they would have to be so obtuse. They would have to be so like out of touch with the community to not think that there was going to be like a huge amount of backlash if later down the road they say, oh, by the way, it's only going to be within the region. Like that's going to be a shit show if that does turn out to be the case.
Yeah, I think they learned their lesson with Vieira and Hrothgar as well, with the whole male-female thing. They're going to be... Oh, continue, sorry.
I don't do coding or development, so I actually don't know how difficult this is, and I might be overstating a fact here, but I think this is a monumentally difficult thing that they have done, and honestly didn't need to do, in my opinion. It's a great thing. It's done in such good faith, but like, how hard would this actually be to like truly open up this game to essentially go where you please? That seems incredibly difficult.
I guess it's to do with data storage more than anything. Like, my suspicion with the restriction is you cannot log off on a different data center.
Yeah.
Well, I think what Yoshi was actually saying is like you had to log off and then kind of select in the launcher which data center you were wanting to connect to.
Okay.
It wasn't like something that you could do in game in the same way as like World Visit. And to that, like there's not that much difference, I got to imagine, between transferring to a data center in the next building and transferring to a data center like in Oslo, right?
Yeah,
It'll
other than ping wise.
Yeah, exactly. Other than ping, like I don't think coding wise it's going to be like mechanically any more difficult. So if you're going to let them do a different data center within the same region, I don't think it's going to like necessarily be more difficult to let it be cross region.
That's fair. This is something I cannot imagine they won't go into more detail in the digital FanFest. Keep
Yeah,
on
no
saying
doubt.
live letter.
Yeah.
So I look forward to hearing this a bit more fleshed out, because boy, oh boy, just in terms of community, this is such a nice gift, and that's honestly what this is. This is absolutely unnecessary. This is a gift.
So, I gotta wonder, how much money do you think they make off of that Mog Station?
enough.
Because
Enough
because
and then some.
they're doing a lot that equates to them losing a lot of money. They're not getting They're not getting 150 out of us. $150 each out of us for going to FanFest. All right. They're not gonna. They're gonna probably not get any more transfer money because they're doing a world visits, the data center visit system. So nobody's gonna really have the need to transfer to other servers anymore.
I don't think FanFest was ever about making money. I think FanFest was about breaking even and then selling a shitload of merchandise, and that was where the profit was.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean, though.
Yeah,
Like-
I know what you mean. And the thing is, with Digital FanFest, they're gonna sell at least as much, if not more, merch.
yeah.
I think that Mog Station, again, the really cool thing about the Mog Station is that it's going into the development team rather than going into Square Enix, right? They're assigned a budget by Square Enix, and then if they want to do stuff that is like extraneous to that budget, then they grab that money from Mog Station profits. I think at this point, like, Mog Station profits are probably pretty similar to, if not more than, what they're getting from subscriptions.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I would assume so.
And to Ethys's, like, the very beginning of Ethys's point, I mean, like, it's about, like, Mog Station sells, and I don't think not having the world transfer stuff be paid for anymore is going to matter, because all that does is give people invested in this game more money to then spend on actual stuff in the Mog Station. More Fantasias, more minions, more mounts, gifts perhaps for other people, Lord knows. Depending on how much the whale costs, I'm going to buy one or two.
Oh, it's going to be like $100.
Don't say that.
Here's why I don't think it's going to be $100, because the 4-man mount is only $35.
Like, make it. Oh fuck! Is it? I was saying make it $30.
I think IMAX is going to
$70.
Yeah, I think IMAX is going to be like 20 or 30 more than what the
a $50 mount. Eh?
70 is the max, is what I think it's going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, on one hand, that's absolutely fucking ridiculous. On the other hand, 3 mounts is a full alliance.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Three.
I wish.
Where the
Fates
heck are you carrying a full alliance to?
But I was just about to get there. I wish fates were still things, like meaningful things. Because watching 3 whales come up and then suddenly all these people appear out of fucking nowhere.
Well, see,
because right now it's only hunts that draw.
Makes you wish there was open world PvP almost.
Yeah. Well, here's another
another
speculation. They could take the Bajda system and put it out into the real world.
Yeah, they absolutely can. I'm expecting to see like critical engagements and stuff in Garlemald.
That would be good.
Yeah,
that would revitalize Fate type things.
I would actually like to see that in just like 6.0 places in general, because like, I mean, the world's going to be on fire, so like there might be a bunch of critical engagements against all these Terminus monsters.
In general, actually, I'd like you all to kind of like really elucidate on that, because among all of us, I think I'm the only one who hasn't engaged with that at all yet.
Oh no.
Yeah, like I plan to.
You're not the only one.
Like,
So
to like my next big break, I tend to focus down and really run through that content.
Yeah.
So in Baj, there are fates, all right, and you do these fates, but some of these fates have added on types of fates that are called critical engagements, and it's something you queue into to actually like do, like when you queue into it after it's ready or whatever, it literally just teleports you to it, and it's like this gigantic circular like closed off ring where you're fighting this boss.
I hate to make this comparison because, I mean, both games are great, but it feels really weird to compare Phantasy Star to 14.
Yeah.
This feels like the urgent missions.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Yeah.
But like it's just out in the open world. So like, you know, you're you do like there's this one, I forget what the fate that actually starts or whatever, but you do this one fate in Bajta or whatever, and then about a couple seconds after you finish that fate, you get a thing going, hey, there's this Mandragora critical engagement up from this fate that you just did, and since you just did it, you get like was it a priority access to it, so you just hit commence, or you hit Q, or like whatever, like yes, you want to do it, and then after enough people have done it, or it'll say commence, and then it'll teleport you to it, and you just wait for the critical engagement to start.
Yeah, it's like a 24-man alliance boss, like Ivalice kind of difficulty, but open world, and contained within like a closed off circular arena.
Yeah.
So other
That is
people like in that
amazing.
open world zone can watch it. They can see it happening as they go about doing whatever the heck they're doing. It's something that I think they've definitely sort of been experimenting with to put into, like, ever since 1.0, they had this idea of like roaming primals and being able to have people like fight primals.
I
in, like,
remember
open world
hearing
zones.
about this.
Yeah, and this is like their kind of them actually doing it.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
So I love this because as someone who, when he comes back, is going to come back in such a casual way now. This seems like the content that is going to benefit those who play again. Like I'm not going to write again. I don't have it in my soul for this anymore. But like this would be great for me. Like it's still content that would push me to be not awful. There would be some mechanics at play, and it would be just out and about, and I could just grab Leak and say, "Let's go form up a party, do fates, and get into this kind of mischief."
It's exactly what I aim for when I play a game. I want to be not awful.
And to add on to that, Dalit, all right, there was just a handful of critical engagements in Bajta that if you went through it without getting hit, you got put into a lottery to do a 1v1 against a.
I heard about this.
Against a certain boss from that fate, or not from that
You
fate,
legitimately tell a boss 1v1 me, bro?
Yeah, you pretty much. All right. It contacts all the people that didn't get that, played that critical engagement perfectly, and you hit yes, you want to do it, and then it picks from one of you from randomly, and then that person gets teleported, and you're in a circular arena against the boss, and you have to fight this boss correctly, or you just die.
Oh, that's really cool.
And everybody can watch you.
The downside to that, the only downside I see to that, is people getting into that and going, "Fuck yeah, I want to give that a go," and all the people who know what to do, like, you're gonna get hit immediately. I'm wasted this.
Well, that's exactly what happened in Bajta. That's exactly what happened.
That's exactly how it goes, and it's great.
I don't think the 14 community is that toxic, but also I lived on Balmung for a long time, so I know that it absolutely can be. And I do know that is something that I would initially worry about.
People have been cool with the 1v1s because they are really hard. Like they're savage. Yeah. And if you get hit by anything or mess up a single mechanic, it's just like insta dead. And you also need to use the special lost memories. Like they're basically the same as the Eureka actions. You need like special loadouts of those to be able to do them as well. So they're very, very punishing, and people they know that. Even if you know it, like it's really easy to screw it up.
Yeah.
Okay, that's my mind. It is.
Yeah, they're very punishing. But I would like to see that in 6.0, and I actually really hope that they at least do the critical engagement part.
I genuinely think that's content that MMOs have, like, not even just 14, that MMOs in general have always wanted, but until now have been unable to do for probably various reasons. But yeah, this sounds like excellent overworld content.
So next, the president and CEO of Square Enix came out on stage and told Yoshi P that if he doesn't do all this stuff correctly, that he's fired. But no,
no gun this time.
No gun this time. Yeah.
Yeah.
He told they announced that there's going to be PS5 support, which was obvious that was coming. The open beta is April 13th.
That's correct.
And then he dropped the hint that, hey, isn't that the same day as the 5.5 patch?
That is also correct.
Okay, so big dumb brain moment. We know that everything that the CEO says is scripted, and we know that Koji and Yoshi like to put on a show. Do we think that maybe they didn't want to say that date until
I
later
They
on?
had it in
Yeah.
a slide for the live letter. They had it like written on a slide.
Okay.
So
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'm pretty
I
sure.
did miss the live
they're
letter.
just
It went on
playing
too
it
late
up.
for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They like to ham it up.
Yes,
They
Um,
do. It's why I legitimately had to ask.
I like to say I was maybe slightly a bit disappointed with the CEO's presence this time, because he didn't really they didn't announce anything too big. Like, I mean, last time it was Blue Mage. The time before that it was not Machinist. What was it during before Stormblood?
Oh, geez, I don't remember. But you're right. It was bigger than like, hey, it's PS5 support, 4K. Who's surprised?
Yeah, this thing that we all knew
Upgrade for
was an
free.
inevitability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, "Can we please give it to him for free, Mr. President?"
Yeah.
But yeah, that was obvious that was going to happen. And then after that, they talked about the May Fan Fest that we're going to get,
Yes.
the online digital around the world fan fest.
May
2 days.
15 and 16.
Yeah, 2 days. Everything's included for free. You just turn on the Twitch channel and you just watch, or whatever they're going to use. I don't know if they're going to use Twitch for it or not.
They will.
Yeah, most likely. I mean, the one time they did the online fan fest thing, I think it was 2016. They had their own site for it.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was also, it wasn't free.
Yeah, that one wasn't free. Yeah. So this one's gonna be all free. And then they joked like, hey, people are saying that they would pay for a fan fest and all that stuff. Well, good on you, because there's probably going to be a $70 to $100 mount on the Mog Station during this
I
time.
want to support you guys. I'm not paying $70 for a fucking mount. Don't you fucking dare.
Listen, the
I am.
mug is $80. The mug is $80 US.
Oh, the Steiner or
Yes.
whatever. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, it's a wooden coffee mug.
Yeah, but it's
$80.
actually wood though, right?
Yeah, dude.
It's not like it's ceramic.
A Stein
trees,
is,
the
no, no,
trees
no, no.
everywhere. There's
No,
a lot
no,
of
no.
wood.
I feel like a wooden mug isn't actually.
The
a
people
mug.
fighting for the rainforest would make you think otherwise.
Yeah, that's fair. No, they are like handcrafted and they're nice, but
Yeah. No,
Jeez.
I think okay. So like the Chocobo like caravan is only $35. They realistically can't charge you $100 for like.
I mean, realistically,
I
they
mean,
can do whatever the hell they want.
they can do
will
whatever
buy it.
they can do whatever the hell they want, but like monetarily wise, it wouldn't be necessarily fair. Because what
So
you
they're
just
like, hey guys, this is completely free, including the live concert. So we have this new minion now.
I think it'll be like I said, $70 maximum.
Uh-huh.
I can
yeah,
see
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
All right, so sorry,
Yeah.
listeners who heard me on Friday. No, won't be picking that up. No.
It's a thought
I was
account.
thinking it was going to top out at like $40 tops.
No.
Oh.
It's an 8-man mount modeled after a mono art piece.
It does. It looks. You can even see the brushstrokes. It's brilliant.
So that's gonna be nice. You get all the concerts for free, which means most likely you're gonna see probably some Susan Calloway on stage, some
So I want to see her again.
some Primals.
Yeah.
The new Primals music video came out also this weekend of
Yes.
of Koji Fox just yelling
He's yelling a choir. That was very
Yeah.
impressive.
about
such
beef
a
soft
dork.
tacos.
it's such a dork.
Yeah, it's about beef soft tacos, man.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
That
I
man's
really
living
enjoyed
our
that video.
dreams.
He's a rock star, man. So yeah, do we have any predictions for like at least this next Manfest?
I mean, other than the stuff that we've already mentioned, Melee is going to have a scythe. We're going to Charlian, Beastmaster limited job. What else?
Just to be spiteful, I'm going to say Puppet Master limited
Okay.
job. Just to be spiteful.
Yeah, I mean, it exists in the lore, and it's Charlian, so
Yep.
it would certainly fit. I just think people kind of are more hungry for Beastmaster at this point.
I would think that you are in fact correct. Yes.
The real big question, though, is after the whole Zodiac and Hydaelyn story is wrapped up and all done and was tucked into bed, what comes after?
Okay.
New world.
It's got to have something to do with the zones, right? Because we're not going to be getting new zones in 6.1. So it's got to be moving in a direction that's facilitated by the zones we get in 6.0. And Aqua, I think you might be like onto something there. Thavnair is unique in that it is the only nation in the world that has any kind of diplomatic or trade relationship with Mericidia.
Mm-hmm.
And if we were ever going to go to Mericidia, we would be going through Thavnair.
Yeah.
So I think it's possible, and we should certainly entertain the idea of 6.1 moving towards like the other continents.
Mericidia, New World.
Yeah,
I'd
be into that. Yeah. But honestly, it's hard.
Rebuilding
all the threads are going to be tied up, and we're going to be moving on to something like completely different.
What is going to be the thing that drives us? What is the bad guy, the antagonist next? Oh, gosh,
no. We just go back to being adventurer.
Oh, is that it? Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah.
We go back to rats and sewers.
Oh, we got no. It's a farm. That's all we do. It's just Stardew Valley afterwards.
Yeah, we retire.
Or Harvest Moon.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh yeah.
That's it.
You know what they really need to do? They need to go full meme on us and at least give us an event where we fight the president and CEO of Square Enix.
Oh god.
Oh, a la Nier Automata.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dollar was saying he really wants to punch him.
They should really do that. Like just a collaboration, like a little event.
Giant guy.
It should be noted, I don't want to punch the CEO.
Yeah. No. Okay. So
I'm a bard. I would use arrows.
No. Literal, everybody. Literally.
bring in the CEO like lore wise. Make him a character. Like make him like a certain character in the game.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be fun.
Has he never appeared in the developer room?
No, I don't think so.
No. Okay. I mean it's fair. He's not a dev, but
he's probably Lolorito.
Oh my god. No. Well, I can't wait to kill him anyway.
Nah, Lolorito's alright.
Lolorito's
for
sketch,
now.
He's not actually bad.
For now.
Oh, you just say that because he's a Lollapel and they are inherently untrustworthy.
Seriously though, other than Mericidia and New World, we know that once the Garlean threat is dealt with, we have Nanamo planning to step down from the Sultanate and dissolve the Sultanate, take power away from the monetarists, make Uldar a republic, probably lead to some kind of civil conflict there. Limsa Laminsa as well. Moralwib, there should have been another Trident and another leader several years ago, but she's held on to basically emergency executive power because of the Garlean threat. And Kani Sanar's the same, Gridania is supposed to be democratic. They're supposed to basically arbitrate everything in the Seedseer Council, and she currently has, again, limitless executive power. Yeah. So, there's going to be like some serious political upheaval in Eorzea in 6.1 that could lead towards like an Eorzean civil war sort of arc, possibly. Mm-hmm. Other than that, we also have, now that we're kind of moving into space, we've got the creators of Omega that blitzed the Dragon Star that is still presumably out there somewhere.
Yeah.
And, again, whatever Allergans perhaps may have survived by getting into space or onto the moon or whatever is quite possibly going to lead to new plot hooks and new trajectories. So there's a lot there, you know. People still, it doesn't matter how many times Yoshida says like this is not the end of Final Fantasy 14. People are coming into like my chat constantly being like, "Oh man, I'm so bummed that this is going to be the final Final Fantasy 14 expansion." And it's like,
Oh, no,
no,
friends.
it's
No,
not.
no, no,
It's
no, no.
not. It's not. Koji literally said the other day, he's like, yeah, we're probably going to have to do another stat squish in like another 10 years.
Yeah.
So they're not planning on
Yeah,
ramping it up.
he specifically said that they want the game to go on for a very, 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 very long time.
Yoshida
I'm kind of
said he'll be on it until God knows
He
how
dies,
long.
No,
essentially.
no, he's
Yeah.
good. Yeah, and he's going to be necromanced until working it on it.
It's
so.
true. You're right. It wasn't until he dies. It was until the CEO fires him. So even
Yeah.
death isn't an option.
That's what
Yeah.
he said. He said until they like force me to retire, this is my life's work. So there you go.
I am of two minds about this. I love 14. I do. I've put so much time into it that it has to be on my list of like favorite games just because of sheer like parts of my life that's taken from me. Willingly, but taken from me. But I also understand, and I know this isn't what they were getting at, they just fundamentally misunderstood what was said. I also do understand that I would probably also like to see another hard reboot of like a fresh story at some point, and not just like a reboot of not a restart in this world, but like of another one, like straight up just from scratch.
The two are not mutually exclusive, right? We may well get another Final Fantasy MMO. Probably won't be a tab target MMO. Probably won't look, you know, anything like these sort of, you know, old school, almost like second gen MMORPGs. But
Yeah.
you know, people are saying, "Oh man, why can't we just have like another Final Fantasy MMO? You know, the game's getting old, yada yada yada." Two ain't
Ooh,
mutually
I don't know that I
exclusive.
like that phrasing.
Mm.
That just makes me feel dirty.
No, I
Yeah.
wasn't trying to put words in your mouth. I'm just saying that like that's what a lot of people have
He
been
literally
kind of
wants to
saying.
punch the CEO, literally.
I'm just saying that the two are not mutually exclusive, right? We can have another 10 years of Final Fantasy 14 and also, you know, something else, something new.
Of course. 11's been riding simultaneously this whole time, so yes,
Yep.
this is absolutely something that could happen.
And don't worry, Dalit. I mean, you're already getting your fresh start. I mean, Yoshi P is working on 16, so.
Oh, and they've stolen the DMC, like the DMC guy in terms of the
Yeah.
battle system.
It's fun to
Yes.
play at least.
That game could be an absolute train wreck in terms of narrative, and I'd still love it.
Well, they've got the lead writer for ARR and Heavensward.
Heavensward,
doing it.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh, make no mistake, I don't think it will be. I'm just saying that
it could be.
fundamentally it
Yeah.
could be, and I would not care.
Yeah, I agree.
If Yoshi P makes the best single player Final Fantasy game since 10, it's gonna be.
If he gets to lay claim to like two of them of like the greatest modern Final Fantasies, that company's gonna have a rough time like elevating talent, because he is going to be the bar by which all others are judged.
Yeah.
It's just how corporate works.
Yeah.
And you're like, why can't you be like Yoshi P over here? He's like the best.
I don't know, because he sold his soul to the devil for talent. He made a Faustian bargain with Zodiac. He made that thing, and now he's made a deal with it. We don't know.
Maybe
we don't
they'll
understand.
finally stop pushing stuff onto Nomura.
Don't count on it.
Oh yeah, no.
I'll give no more of this. 7 remake was good. 7
It
remake
was.
was good.
He's an ideas man, and he had a solid foundation to work off of.
Yeah.
So, I think when he is restrained a bit, or at least has like a foundation, he's great, because like he's an ideas guy. He's great at concept. It's execution that he falters on.
He's just gonna go back to character designing, man.
He has like the Kojima issue where he takes his sweet time and really likes to like take the long way around, and for whatever reason it just doesn't work for him. And to be fair, at some point it stopped working for Kojima because he got fired, eh?
Yeah. So what are we doing this week?
Playing Final Fantasy 14 and also working. I got lots of work. Oh my gosh, deadlines.
It's midterms for the sound design courses, so I'm probably not going to get too much done. But I mean, my next big break, I'm just going to dive face first right back into Eosia.
Yes.
Yeah, clap, clap, clap.
Yes.
When I once I finish East 8, which should be within the next day or so, I will most definitely be logging back in. I even though I say this all the time before an expansion comes out, but I am going to at least try to get all of my battle classes to fucking 80.
It's not that hard. I've managed to do it every single time.
In Bodja, it's really like quick and also fun.
Yeah.
Oh,
Excellent. Good.
My problem is casters. I really hate playing casters. Like, no matter what I'm doing, I just really hate playing casters.
Well,
I'm
again, just getting the
surprised.
Bodja
They're so brain dead. For leveling,
I
not for like
understand.
actual combat.
I understand how it feels. Just getting to so Bodja, you can level 71 to 80. You just get in there, just spam fates. They give you millions of experience. And,
Music to my ears.
easy.
Yeah. The hardest thing is I think my lowest job is paladin at the moment. I think it's still like 30 something. So I don't touch
House
the
of the
tanks.
Dead.
I don't touch the tanks, man.
So,
Fair
Ethys,
enough.
not to put you on the spot, but
Yes.
what's your plans? When's the next big content drop
goodness.
from Ethys Asher?
Well, I'm hoping to film another Ask Ethys tonight because those have been going really well.
Yeah.
That was, I wasn't sure like how people were going to take to those, but the first two were like very positively received. So I'm going to try to make that like a regular sort of pillar of the channel from here on. So I'm basically going to be answering people's questions about like Endwalker sort of stuff that we know and also a bit of speculation. So hopefully I'll be filming that tonight. Then I'm going to do a trailer dissection video, and then I'm going to be doing a video basically on Thavnair and everything we know. And I'm going to try to get all of those knocked out before the end of this week. So it's going to be a busy one between that and streaming and all of this freelance stuff I got to do as well. It's I'm gonna have trouble capping. I'll tell you that. But I'm so excited to like sink my teeth into this, and it's just unfortunate that like after a big content announcement like this, there's sort of like a critical window of about 2 weeks where you can hit like maximum engagement, and if you miss that boat, then you're putting a lot of hours in for not much of a return.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's stuff that I want to talk about, and I got to try and talk about it quickly.
Well, I think I speak for literally everyone in your own community and all of us here when I say we look forward to it.
Oh, thanks, mate. I look forward to it as well.
Wonderful.
Of course you do. You're doing it.
Well,
You can be excited about it.
Yeah, come on. Most people would be looking forward to someone else doing it, right?
If he doesn't like what he does, why should we?
Yeah, this is true.
Exactly.
This is very true.
That's fair. Yeah.
Well, anyway, thank you for gracing us with your presence on here for this
It is
episode.
about time.
About time.
It is about bloody time.
We had to like keep our ball rolling, man. I had to figure out a perfect opportunity to really bring
we had
you
to have
on.
a good excuse.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that we had one because, like I've been telling people, you guys are doing a really, really cool show here. You guys have got a really nice kind of repartee between the three of you. And I've like genuinely really been enjoying listening to it almost every week. I think I've only missed like a couple. It's like part of my my regular podcast rotation now, and you guys are giving me content that I'm really enjoying, and I just hope that people are smelling what you're stepping in, picking up what you're putting down, and anyone that's listening that I've kind of directed over here, like, do please make sure that you give these jabronis a sub here on YouTube and follow them all on Twitter, and like check the links in the description below for all of their stuff, because they've been supporting me and have been like a backbone of our community for like at least 6 years now.
Goodness.
Yeah. It's
right?
been a while. It's been a while.
Right? Yeah. So give them some love. They're doing great stuff. So guys, thank you so much for the content and for letting me come in and sit in. I've really enjoyed it. It's been fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Absolute pleasure.
I've got some like thoughts, because like you're also trying to head up being lore boy of 16 too. So whenever we get some good information on that, might bring you on.
Please, by all means.
And then
it's
definitely
been great
after
having guests.
FanFest.
Hell
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
Golf
thank
clap.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Golf clap.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's gonna do it for this week, guys. We'll see you next week.
Have fun.
Bye.
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 Thank you for listening. If you like this content and want to see more, please like, favorite, and subscribe. Links to our Twitters are in the description.